So Microsoft CEO enjoyed a 10% pay raise just before layoffs. This week, Microsoft revealed that it would lay off roughly 10K employees, around 4.5% of the workforce. However, it seems that there's another area which Microsoft could save millions while also protecting its lowest earners at the company, the executives' pay packets. Microsoft reported that CEO Satya Nadella stayed on a salary of $2.5 million, but also earned an additional $54.95 million through bonuses. Oh my God.
No wonder they laid off those motherfuckers.
Of course, this is in addition to the fact that Microsoft is paying $68.7 billion to acquire Activision. Time and time again, the industry's biggest players have proven that its workers are the first to feel the pinch during any financial trouble. So you mean to tell me that multimillionaires that are in the top of the food chain, if they can just say, you know what, this year I'm going to sacrifice my fucking pay. Yeah. Because I can afford to do that. So I can keep my staff and keep us going.
Yeah. And then he wants to say, oh, we're going to come out more competitive and even better. No,
you're going to come out more fucking wealthy,
Yeah.
and everybody else is going to be fucking shit out of luck because you want to make more money. You cockbag. You greedy corporate fuck. Hey, Mike.
Hi, Brock.
Welcome back to another episode of the Blacklisted Gaming Podcast. It was supposed to be both Mikes today, but the other one's decided that he had a fucking birthday party to go to.
God damn it.
After he said yes yesterday. Was it yesterday or Thursday?
That was yesterday.
No, it was Thursday.
Was it? Was it Thursday? Oh, it was Thursday.
No, it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna say.
It was yesterday. I'm getting so class started again for me, and because it started again, all my fucking days are crazy. I have 5 classes this semester: 1 Monday, 1 Tuesday, 2 on Thursday, and 1 on Friday.
That sounds fucking awful.
Yeah, it is. And then all but 1 class are 4-hour-long classes. I have right now 18 homework assignments, and it has been week 1.
I'd quit.
I can't quit. It's my fucking career. It's my future.
Just quit.
I need to do this. I need to get it done. And
throw them all away.
Plus the GI Bill is like my second income. So
that's fair.
I'm literally like relying on GI Bill, BAH, and disability. Which, by the way, I submitted my fucking mental health claim in September, and I still haven't gotten an answer back.
I got mine like fast.
And did you get it?
Yeah.
Your mental health one? Yeah, you know who's they're doing a record review. They're not even, and so I got a letter saying that my claim is being evaluated by an evaluator, and it's going to be a record review, and it's the same person that denied me that's reviewing my shit.
Jesus Christ.
And and that's why I'm like, why is this taking so long? I got that letter a month in December.
Yeah.
No. When was Danko on? December. Yeah, it was
December?
like before Christmas, middle of December. So I still haven't gotten an answer back, and this bitch has had my shit for a month.
Yeah, they got mine fairly fast. Because some of the shit that happened to me, man, they're like, oh yeah, this dude's fucked up, and.
I'm like, look, it sucks because I'm just like all these things where the chick was just like, I know she's gonna go look at it and be like, none of this is service related, and even though all my records and even my therapist says it is, it's ultimately up to her, this person. So
the same person that denied you,
the same person that denied me.
That's so fucking stupid.
And it pisses me off even more that they wouldn't even they're not even doing a normal evaluation; they're doing a record review. So I'm not even having to go back in there and talk to her again.
They're just going through everything on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're gonna review my records from the VA and my therapist. So I had a social worker at the VA, Andrea. Did you have Andrea?
No,
you had the Ukrainian.
I
chick.
had the Ukrainian chick,
but you never talked to Andrea, the social worker.
No,
she's way better. But yeah, she even said like this is all service connected.
Yeah,
and then I talked to a therapist and a psychiatrist, and they're like, this is all service related. So it's all going to be up to whether or not this bitch is like, he seems fine now. Like, obviously not if I'm talking to a psychiatrist and shit.
Yeah.
And if she denies me again, Danko told me that I can actually request that my therapist does my evaluation.
I would do it right away.
I can't.
Oh,
Not
you
until
can't?
it's done.
Oh. Well, yeah, immediately after that I would, because
And he told me, because I was going to say, can't I have a different evaluator look at my shit? And he said, you can request it, but honestly, if she's already got it, you might as well wait. Because she might actually not say no. She might actually say yes and rule in your favor. On top of that, my sleep apnea evaluator, the pulmonary evaluator, he told me that he's in 100% full support that my sleep apnea is service-connected as secondary to mental health.
Well, so it's like all connected.
So sleep apnea is had to be filed as a secondary condition to mental health.
Okay.
And mental health was a supplementary claim because of new evidence. So it couldn't be like an appeal or anything. So it's a supplemental claim. So it was filed differently.
Okay.
So because it was filed differently, like it's going through kind of a similar but different process. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll fucking see.
I got in the mail the other day. Was it yesterday? So I got in the mail because I went and did an EKG because I had heart issues. And so they sent this out on December 6th. And I just got it yesterday. And they're like, oh, I was reading through it. It said normal, pulse rate normal. Left atrium fucked up. I'm like, what's that? So I looked it up. So my left atrium is pumping too much blood through my heart, which is like putting strain on my chest.
What does it feel like?
It's like you'll feel a drop, and then your heart goes dun, 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 and then just goes normal, balances out. It's like a really deep, like fucking beat. Just goes.
What causes that?
I don't know. They haven't figured it out. But I had an episode when I was in Okie. I blacked out in the barracks, and they did like CPR on me and shit.
Really?
Yeah, I woke up in an ambulance.
I used to get like fucking shortness of breath and stuff. It felt like it was like something's wrong. So I had an EKG done, and they said everything's fine. Come to find out, it's just panic attacks.
Panic attacks? Those will fuck you up. Panic attacks fuck me up.
And that's why I was like, wait, what do you mean tell me that my shit's not service connected? I was getting looked at, and I had panic attacks, but they're like, well, you never talked to anybody. I'm like, that's because he told me not to, and there was nobody there to talk to. So yeah. I don't know what the fuck you want.
They just, after the hospital, they're like, just keep an eye on it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it seems like the fucking normal clinical answer that they give you in the military.
Pretty much.
We have a lot of shit to cover because a lot of fucking wild news had come out in the last week or two. So on top of that, I've been trying to keep up with between school, doing Destiny 2 shit. And I know you are like, you're a fucking idiot for that. Well, Alicia started playing it, and she's like, you should play it. And I'm like, you don't. Oh.
That's a lot of game to get into this many years later, though.
I used to play it all the time.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, then that's fine. Then.
And, like, I think I stopped playing it I played the recent expansion, but I never grinded the end game.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like it because I didn't have anybody to play with.
Okay.
But now Alicia and her friends were like, you should play Destiny 2 again. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to.
You got a squad
And
I
tried telling Alicia, I'm like, if you really are going to try to get me back into this game, you don't know what you're asking me. And here I am, a month and some change later, and it's all I play. And now I'm like max level on almost all my characters, and I'm already doing Grandmaster Nightfalls. I'm preparing for day one raid.
Jesus Christ.
And she's just like, I didn't. And then she was even like, you need to spend some time with me. And I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. Like, but I tried warning you. You get me back into this game, it's not going to be, you're never going to see my ass again. So speaking of games, there's a lot of shit to cover in the gaming world, starting with Microsoft. A lot of fucking shit's been going on with the big corporations such as Microsoft and how they laid off 10,000 people a couple days ago. So Microsoft hired more than 75,000 people since 2019 and is now scaling back, and they cut 10,000 people. And these people include cuts at Xbox and Bethesda. So got to pay for all them legal fees from all the lawsuits from the FTC and shit. But on top of that, Microsoft is actually under some fire after this layoff. And the reason why is because, one, Microsoft CEO got a 10% pay raise just before the layoffs.
Jesus Christ. That looks like a knockoff Tamura Morrison.
It does, doesn't it? I thought he looked familiar.
Wish.com, Tamura Morrison.
And after that, not including this, but literally the day before the layoffs, Microsoft executives had a private Sting concert in Davos. Literally the night before they announced that they were laying 10,000 employees off. So they can afford to pay their CEO a 10% increase in pay, as well as private Sting concert for their executives. But you know what? We need to cut back on costs. And spend $69 billion on Activision.
Yep.
You know, they've been buying companies like it's fucking candy, and now they're like, we can't afford to keep you. No shit. You spent all your money on fucking buying companies, making your CEO more money, and giving yourselves a little private fucking circle jerk. What do you want me to do here? So, yeah, they're under fire for that. But on top of that, Halo Infinite developer Joseph Staten is leaving 343 Industries and returning to Xbox Publishing. So there's been a fuck ton of top dogs at 343 that have just jumped ship, and it's been a very bleak sign that something's going on at 343 and it might not be good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what, kids? It's not, because it was announced yesterday that 343 Industries will no longer make Halo games.
Thank God.
Or the DLCs. Instead, will oversee outside development and keep the live service going.
Thank fucking God.
So that could either be good,
it's going to be good,
or worse.
It's going to be good. 343 made some. Halo Infinite was pretty decent, but they were too late to move. They
dropped the ball on a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, they did. They didn't drop co-op campaign, which is Halo's bread and butter. Everybody knows this.
Yeah. What co-op campaign were you and Danko playing?
We were playing Halo Infinite last night.
You can play co-op on that now?
Yeah, you gotta play up to 4 players. It's fucking hilarious. Danko kept crashing the mongoose in the fucking trees, though.
Yeah, sounds like a Danko thing to do.
And then he couldn't drive the Scorpion. Yeah, it was actually really fun because we were having a really good time.
You know, I found the Scorpion to be a little bit difficult to drive in Halo Infinite.
Mike kept getting caught on trees again last night, and rocks.
Which is weird that, you know, a tank is getting stuck on a tree.
Well, like the whole map, though, is really not designed for tank mobility. It's more or less for you, like, walking and exploring using your grapple. That's pretty much it. I mean, unless you get the Wasp and you fly everywhere. But we've both already beat the campaign, but Danko still has to upgrade all his shit.
I stopped playing that shit a while ago. I played the campaign, thought it was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was pleasantly surprised by that campaign, but then the end game shit was just not there.
Well, it's like they just didn't keep the. So you have like a bunch of shit you can do throughout the map. There's tons of stuff to explore, Easter eggs to find, but like once you kill all the banished and obliterate like all the forces and the fortresses, there's nothing else. And they said they were going to drop campaign DLC, but never did.
The biggest killer for open world live service games is lack of content.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Ghost Recon Wildlands, for example. I thought that game was really good, but I said the only thing that will kill this game is the end game. If there is a lack of end game content when you run out of shit to do, then what's the point on even playing it anymore? And then all the DLCs that came out was like fucking Fast and the Furious and shit.
They had Predator too, right?
Predator was like the only really good one.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Because people were like, I talked to a lot of guys that I was playing Destiny with. They said the Predator expansion was freaky to play because like he would just show up randomly in the woods. He would hunt you at night in the woods. Some trouble at Ubisoft. This is all signs are pointing that Ubisoft might actually be selling at some point in the near future. And they aren't doing too hot. So Ubisoft has canceled 3 unannounced games and once again has delayed Skull and Bones. After this makes, I think, the 7th delay for this game. And the game's been in development for a decade.
For real?
It started development when Black Flag released. And it was originally supposed to be an expansion of Black Flag. But they had a lot of ideas that they were like, why don't we just make this into its own game? This will be way too much for an expansion. So they started developing a new, its own thing. However, the game saw massive amounts of reboots during its development, and now it just ends up being like a Sea of Thieves light. So all it is, instead of everyone thought they were going to get like like a fucking pirate simulator, like Black Flag.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just World of Warships. It's all it is
dumb.
focused on is ship to ship combat. There's no land exploration. But gathering resources, literally you pull your ship up to a tree and the tree cuts itself down, and then you have your resources. The boarding of ships is just a cutscene. You don't actually board ships and fight. You are literally stuck at the helm of your ship.
That's stupid.
There's no ship exploration. You're just behind the wheel of your ship. And I know people that have been playing the alpha test.
Yeah.
That's been live for some people. And they've all said the same thing. This game sucks. And people have been wondering, why don't they just cancel fucking Skull and Bones? And the answer to that question is because legally, Ubisoft cannot cancel it. They have to develop it and release it because they made an agreement with the government of Singapore.
No shit.
Yeah, it was like some labor agreement with Singapore.
Yeah.
Where they said that they would develop the game, and on top of that, the game has to be at a decent state. Otherwise, they'll get sued by Singapore. So they are stuck developing this game and releasing this game, and it has to be up to the government of Singapore's fucking their standard. Otherwise, they'll get sued. So that's why they won't cancel it, because they can't cancel it. They are bound by law to finish the game, which I found that out last week. I was like, crazy. I didn't know that. But
God.
On top of the announcement of canceling, oh wait, actually, this is out of order. Let me move this. So on top of that, Ubisoft employees in France are going on strike in protest of the CEO's comments, because essentially the CEO blamed them for the reason why everything's failing. Yeah.
Why? What?
It was kind of like an indirect thing that he said. It was kind of like a slight towards them, and they were all pissed because he released the statement and he put out an email, and it basically sounded like he was blaming the fucking developers and the employees of why Ubisoft isn't doing too hot. It has nothing to do with their cool NFT thing that failed or anything. By the way, yeah, Ubisoft decided that Quartz was getting canceled, and it was just an experiment after they tried shoving that shit down our throats, and the CEO saying that the player base will come to accept it. And of course we didn't. So now he's backtracking that. And as a result, the Ubisoft CEO has apologized. But we'll actually dive into what his apology entails. Also, there's another game at Ubisoft that has now beat Duke Nukem in its development time. So the game Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been in development for about 12 years.
I remember when they dropped this trailer.
And it's still in early development.
Oh.
12 years later.
Fuck.
And it's beaten Duke Nukem in its development time. Making this in the Guinness Book of World Records, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is now the longest game in development. So we'll dive into this, and it's no secret that Ubisoft, the company, is in a fucking shambles right now.
Yeah, everything's failing.
And every game that they've been developing is in development hell. So, you remember Marvel's Avengers?
Yeah, I bought that shit.
Yeah, guess what? They announced that they're no longer supporting it. Crystal Dynamics made an announcement that they are... Wait, hang on. I have these out of order, I think. Why are these ads so massive? Probably because the website's too huge. So, Marvel's Avengers is no longer going to be putting out updates or any more content. And on top of that, they are giving away all the skins to every character for free to everybody. And there are no plans in place of issuing refunds to anybody that's already purchased the microtransactions for the skins.
Fuck that. I stopped playing that game. It was so dull.
I know.
It was so boring.
So they are no longer putting out any. They're going to keep keep the game running. That's as far as it's going to go. But if this goes in the course of Anthem, they'll shut it down within a year. I'm sure.
I remember Anthem. That was supposed to be a huge fucking game.
Yeah,
too.
that was supposed to be the Destiny killer.
Yeah.
So much for that, right? That's actually one of the first games I covered on this podcast.
Really?
It was the first review I ever did.
Anthem, I heard, was good at first. I heard it got better after time.
It got a little better.
Little.
It didn't get much better. The biggest thing was the lack of things to do. All the customization options they said that you could have ended up not being the case. A lot of the shit that they were showing was paywalled. Like all the cosmetical shit, like to make your fucking your javelin look cool, was all behind a fucking paywall. To include the shaders. Shaders were all behind paywalls. The loot, the RNG was fucking terrible. The gameplay was broken. A lot of the weapons, it was bad because their loot weapons, like their epic weapons, which is like their exotics, were doing less damage and performing worse than common loot that you would find.
Yeah.
So like green shit that you would find, which is like the uncommon stuff, was outperforming the exotics. So people, like, everyone's builds were fucking retarded because the shitty stuff that was supposed to be shitty was actually much better than the best stuff that you would have to grind for.
Yeah.
So they're ceasing the development soon on Marvel's Avengers, and the players are not happy about any of this, especially in like all 5 of them.
Yeah, no shit. The 10 people still playing it.
I know Doc was still playing. He's like, dude, Avengers is fun. I'm like, fuck Avengers, man. Why do you still play that?
Well, I know a lot of people were complaining about the character design too, like the way they looked, because everybody wanted the Avengers from the movies.
Right.
So, which, I mean, I think they should have did, because
they don't have the rights to that.
I know, but like it would have been cool if they did either way, because it could have related more to, younger kids who wanted to play oh yeah, that's Thor, I recognize him from the movies, but like even the voice acting was terrible.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. It was not a good game, and I am not surprised that this game is finally getting shut down. I feel like this was a long time coming.
That was a waste of $70.
There was actually one more thing I want to talk about, and I forgot to add it. So Logan Paul.
Oh, God.
So last episode we talked about Logan Paul's Cryptozoo game. And how it was looking like to be that his Cryptozoo game was a scam. And essentially it fucking was.
Yeah. And
what actually it come out, it was CoffeeZilla did a report on this saying that Cryptozoo, essentially it was like you were able to put money in the game. And basically what it was is that you could create NFTs, basically like crossbreeding animals, hatching eggs, and it was just like you would create like an animal. All it was just stock photos from the internet. And like your crossbreed shit was like some shitty AI fucking photo of it. And it was basically like a photo that was on the internet already that, was like saying, it's your NFT, you can make money off of it. It was really shitty. So it was looking like it to be a fucking massive scam. And then come to find out, CoffeeZilla found out that the guy that was spearheading the development of that was a notorious scammer. And the guy, this guy scammed like large corporations and stuff out of millions of dollars. And Logan Paul's team hired the guy to develop the game. Well, after it came out that the guy was like a known con man, Alicia must be home.
Oh,
was a known con man. Instead of apologizing for it, he blamed his staff and then tried projecting it all on CoffeeZilla. And his response video was funny because if you watch it, it sounds a lot like someone is blaming other people but himself and not taking any accountability for any of it.
Yeah, but Logan Paul and Jake Paul are fucking douchebags.
They are douchebags.
I mean, literally looks like the most untrustworthy fucking human being you could ever see.
I know. I've never been a fan of Logan Paul ever in my life.
They only got famous off of Vine. That's it. They got famous off of doing stupid shit on Vine. That's how they got rich.
And then they became big YouTubers, and like fucking ADHD kids watch them, and that's how they got their money.
Yeah, go figure.
Essentially,
I can't stand them. Those two are probably the most hated people by me at least. I can't fucking
more than the Island Boys.
They're retarded. I don't even care about them because they're stupid. They had bugs in their hair.
Their fucking their mom drank when they were pregnant when she was pregnant with them.
She probably did fucking ketamine while they were in there.
Ketamine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're gonna dive into all these topics, bro. You ready for a long one, boy?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been doing the Regiment podcast. So
the Regiment one?
Yeah, so I'm in charge of the Regiment Smoke Pit podcast. And it's me and Doc. Essentially what it is like we'll do some like interviews. We're actually gonna possibly have Donnie O'Malley from Vet TV.
No shit.
You know about Donnie, don't you?
Oh, I know Donnie. Yep.
Because Doc, he is the He's a coordinator for IW. He's also like in charge of their Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
And now he's pretty close to Donnie, and Donnie's close to Regiment. So we're gonna probably have Donnie on. I'm still trying to get Rocco on here. Might end up getting Rocco on fucking Smoke Pit, but even still, like, he's filming the final. Did you know Mayans is getting canceled?
No, I didn't know that.
They're filming their last season right now.
Was it the 3rd or 4th?
5th. And it sucks because last season was really good, and like it really focused on Gilly.
Yeah.
And like the development of that character, and now they're canceling it.
Oh, it can be as bad as the Velma show. Did you hear about that?
I already know. I knew that was gonna be shit when I saw the trailer. I'm like,
God.
oh, so we're gonna fucking Scooby's not really there. They swapped fucking Shaggy. They don't even call him Shaggy. They call him Orville, which is actually Shaggy's real name.
Oh.
Yeah, which I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I
I didn't know that Orville was Shaggy's legal name.
Shaggy's his nickname.
Shaggy is his nickname, and Scooby is some fucking crypto chick, e-girl. That that Shaggy is like fucking.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, the show, and of course they're blaming the show's lack of success on racism. Not the fact that the show isn't good; it's because you're racist. That seems to be like the fucking.
It's the trend. That's the trend.
The trend is if it's not good, it's because the viewers are racist.
It was the same with Black Panther 2. Everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, this movie is."
I heard Black Panther 2 wasn't terrible. I heard it was decent. It just but at the same time, it's like it's hard to make Black Panther 2 good because Chadwick Boseman's dead. So it's like I kind of feel bad for like the producers and shit of that movie because they had a plan, but. It was like in the air of whether or not they were going to be able to do it with him because he was dying.
Yep.
And they had I think they handled his death pretty well. I mean, as well as you fucking could.
I saw the T'Challa's funeral scene, which was pretty cool, but I feel like I don't know. I saw the burial was kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, the circumstances around, real life leading into the making of that movie was already kind of setting it up to not be as good.
Yeah.
And that was completely out of their control. They had to work with what they had. They're like, well, we have to do something to make it canon to the comics, which was make Shuri Black Panther.
Well, she eventually becomes the Black Panther later on after T'Challa.
Yeah.
So it does make sense, but I agree. I mean, without Chadwick Boseman, there wasn't
enough to develop his character.
No.
And that's because he died.
Yeah. But like if he was still alive, it probably would have been really good.
I know. Jeremy Renner is going to lose his leg, potentially.
Oh, from his fucking
snowplow accident? He got ran over by his fucking mountain snowplow.
I feel like Marvel should have, after Endgame, Marvel should have taken 2 or 3 years off from making shit. Because now, like, everything's being rushed. Did you see the CGI for MODOK?
It's bad. It literally looks like someone's photo of a fucking face that they stretched to make it fit.
Everyone says that Ant-Man looks like the fucking Spy Kids 3D.
Oh my god, it does. I didn't actually think of that.
It's literally like spec for spec. Like MODOK looks like George, was it Lopez, his character in the movie? Like it looks fucking bad. But Marvel, after I watched Moon Knight. Moon Knight was good. I thought Moon Knight was probably one of the best shows they dropped after.
You know why? Because they weren't trying to tie Moon Knight into anything.
No, it was its own thing, which was nice because, like, to have something develop on itself, and you had good character progression.
Loki was good.
Loki, I heard, was really good too.
Did you watch it?
I saw a little bit of it.
It's actually, I was pleasantly surprised about Loki. Loki was actually really good.
I haven't watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet.
It starts great and ends shit.
God damn it!
It was one of those things where it was like, it was on a really good roll. And that was the trend for a lot of the Marvel shows, is that they start off strong and don't end very well. And it was just like,
they need to take a break because I'm getting superhero fatigue. I am, dude. I am too. Like I said, after Endgame, because like Endgame kind of like, except Spider-Man. The Spider-Man movies have been awesome. They always hit that Spider-Man like.
They do a very good job with Spider-Man.
Yeah, like Spider-Man's like, that's like fucking beautiful. Like,
and I love, and obviously into this, like the fucking recent Spider-Man movie gave everybody what they wanted.
Oh yeah, it was totally an ode to fans, but it was also a good progression towards the next movie. like with the introduction of like Venom in the cutscene, you know, Eddie Brock. So I don't know, but like after Endgame with Iron Man's death, it just went downhill. And then you had fucking shit She-Hulk with Megan Thee Stallion, and then it was just a man-hating show. And it was just a feminist fucking pile of shit.
I mean, on the other hand, though, She-Hulk was pretty true to the She-Hulk comics, apparently. I don't know. I never read any of them. So I guess it was like pretty close to how the comics are. Which, I mean,
Megan Thee Stallion?
No, not with that part. But I don't know. I didn't like She-Hulk either. I started watching it, and like 3 or 4 episodes in, I'm like, this isn't for me.
I watched the second episode, and then my buddy Carl, who's a huge comic book fan, he's a big Warhammer guy. Like he's huge in that.
Is he
Star
excited
Wars.
about Henry Cavill being a Warhammer producer?
Yeah, he won't. He's like, dude, Henry Cavill's developing his own Warhammer shit.
I'm like, fucking feel so bad for him.
Yeah, I know, because the fucking idiots at Netflix shit on him.
Not even that, and DC.
Yeah.
And the worst part about that shit is that Warner Brothers plans on keeping everybody else except for him and Ben Affleck. So Jason Momoa made an announcement that he's basically sticking around in DC, but what his role will be, people are either saying he's still either going to be Aquaman or he's going to be Lobo.
Okay.
Which, I mean, good, fine casting, but if you're going to do a reboot, get rid of everybody.
Yeah,
and they're also keeping Ezra Miller going forward for Flash.
I'm surprised that motherfucker's not in jail right now.
It's because it's a political thing, honestly. It has to do with the fact that he's like, I'm a non-binary person, blah, 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 blah. But he thinks he can get away with everything, and he does all this stupid shit. The guy's out of his fucking mind, and he's a problem, and he's detrimental to your franchise.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
But they won't.
You
They
can
won't.
find another person who plays Flash better.
But he'll probably pull the fucking social justice card on them.
That's how everything is. You see it in video games, movies, TV. Everything is all social justice or politically involved.
I know.
It's no
so,
break.
It's so stupid. And it's like, it's got to fucking stop.
It's never going to stop.
This is why you got to beat the fuck out of your kids once in a while. But yeah, and so like the DC universe is getting fucked. The Marvel is fucking on a weird fucking trajectory. I'm getting superhero fatigue too.
Yeah. Well, like,
I will say this though, the Last of Us series.
I didn't watch that yet. I heard it
Dude.
was amazing.
The first episode is damn near 1-for-1 to the game.
See, that's what pissed me off about
And they did
Halo.
it so well too. That was the other thing. It was just like I was very concerned about the casting for fucking Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
But she does a great job. I was like, because everyone's saying she doesn't look like Ellie, but honestly, she performs like Ellie. So she sells it very well.
Yeah.
And Pedro as fucking Joel, I was very unsure about that casting choice, but Pedro plays a pretty good Joel.
Plays a good dad, the Mandalorian.
Yeah. So the first episode of The Last of Us was really good because it was like everyone's like, oh, this isn't like every other zombie show like The Walking Dead. I'm like, well, the game wasn't either.
No, that's why the game was so fucking good.
Because it wasn't like a zombie game.
No.
It was like both. It was
Yeah.
there was a good balance between all of it, and it had told a very good story.
Yeah.
The second game, not so much, but
No. The first one, I remember when it came out, we were at my friend's house, and like he said, you guys want to come over and watch, The Last of Us, watch us play, and I'm like, yeah, I'm down. So we smoked weed all night and watched our buddy play The Last of Us, and we were all high laying on this fucking air mattress. We're like, huh, that looks good.
And like the other thing is like Last of Us, the way they do zombies is freaky.
Yeah,
Because it's very plausible. It's very plausible.
Well, yeah, actually, the fungus virus is actually a real thing.
The cordyceps.
Yeah,
I know. They changed how the transmission happens.
yeah,
So before it was like airborne spores, and now it's not really said how it transmits. I mean, it obviously transmits if you get bit, but how it started was not because of spores.
yeah.
People are saying that it might be in the food. It might be like
moldy old food.
No,
or
like in flour.
Oh,
So like floured products like cakes, breads,
That makes
stuff like
sense.
that, where it relies on a fungus to actually
oh, like yeast and shit.
yeast and shit.
Yep.
So they're thinking that it might have been that, and it's crazy to think that in real life we are one evolutionary step away from it being real. And Alicia's not a big zombie person. She thinks they're stupid. But that one, Last of Us, the first episode freaked her out. She's like, this is giving me anxiety. I was like, yeah. And the thing is, you don't see any clickers in the first episode.
But it's like it's like the dissolve into chaos. So I didn't see the first episode yet, but like I heard it was amazing.
It's good.
See, that pisses me off because it's like Halo.
They went their own way. I know. The Halo show was fucking dog shit.
Dude, like so this subject pisses me off so much because I've been a diehard Halo fan since Combat Evolved. I went to the Halo 2 release, the Halo 3 release, ODST, Halo 4, and then 5, I was in Japan, so I bought it online. But, like, if you already got a fucking formula that works and the fans love, why wouldn't you stick with that? Because off of that, you could branch off to Marines going through their own shit, different Spartans going through their own shit. The fact they jumped ahead and now Chief has his fucking helmet off every fucking second and he fucks the Covenant chick, McKee. John is a giant green virgin and will always be a giant green virgin to me. I'm sorry, but like I still watched it because I love Halo. But when I'm watching this shit with like Fincher and like the crime guys, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. But the action sequences, when they were going, they were good.
I heard that. I never watched it, but I heard the action in the show was fucking spot on. The only thing that sucked was like the portrayal of Halo. It was
The story.
Because they were like, and then you knew it was going to be bad when they said, we didn't play the games. Like, why?
Well, it's the same with The Witcher. Henry Cavill said, I'm not going to do this unless we stick to the source material for The Witcher. That's why he fucking was like, fuck this. I don't blame him for fucking.
And it actually is never. It's this big speculation of that's what's happened. Granted, all signs are pointing to that's what's happened because they're going away from the lore, and even the producers are like saying like none of us said any of the stuff about not liking the writing, but why else would he leave? And if you look at Blood Origin was nothing but a fucking check the box for every fucking trope and political point.
Nope. Black. Okay, there we got a gay character. Okay, they're making out.
But the way that they handled the characters was stupid. Like the gay character.
It's the same.
It's like they came out and said like The Witcher has their first openly gay.
I saw that on their Twitter.
But the problem was they didn't do anything with it. It was just that.
Yeah, it's just gay. It's just pure gay.
For the sake of doing it. And it was
not
like
even about the story.
There's no backstory hardly at all to it.
No.
It's just doing it for the sake of doing it. It's like, well, why don't you just give the guy a fucking backstory of, why he's doing the things that he's doing.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying like, oh no, he likes dudes. Like, okay, what else?
I think that's the thing that these big companies don't see is like, I don't give a fuck if they're gay.
Even the people in those communities are like, why are you just shoehorning this in?
Yeah, like if the story's good, I don't care if there's a lesbian, if there's a gay dude, but if the story is good and the character arc built, like the build-ups for everything are good and like they suck me in to keep me like, wanting to pay attention, cool. But like just doing something for the sake of, oh, well, society's pretty gay lately, so we should have two dudes make out. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Yeah, I know. Like, why don't you make it to where like the fucking the kingdom or the monsters did something and you built up that fucking love story, and the next thing you know, like now this person is this person because of these events. Yeah, there's none of that. Yeah, and then everyone's like, it's funny too because like everyone's like, oh, there's a lot of like on the comments for Black Panther, like because the CGI was terrible. I heard the story was awful. Everyone's like, oh, there's a lot of racist people in here. I'm like, do you ever think that maybe we're not racist? We just don't want shit writing. We don't want bad quality. Yeah, fucking Christ, we want good quality. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what the fucking the narrative is. Yeah, I want a good story and good quality filmmaking. Yeah, I like seeing shit that's visually appealing and stuff that keeps me going. That's why I bought all the Old Republic books. I started reading those. And those are fucking awesome. It's funny because I remember seeing a meme where it says 2007 CGI and 2022 CGI. Horrible. And like it's like, what happened? Like the old CGI from like the early Transformers movies looked fucking like awesome. It looked incredible. Granted, Michael Bay can't write a fucking poem on a stall door. No. But But the movies were still entertaining because the CGI was great.
I mean, if you look at my personal favorites,
Even early Marvel movies.
yeah, Iron Man 1, like the first Iron Man still looks awesome. Like all of it, even Killmonger, like obviously it wasn't the greatest, but it's like it looks better than the shit they're kicking out today. Like Ironheart had no textures on her armor; it was just like clean, just like
I know,
awful. And honestly,
I feel like it's because the studio is overworking her.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like how I said, they needed to take a break. They should take a break, not focus on so many fucking things at a time. So we have like more content throughout the years instead of throughout the months. But it's like they're focused on so many fucking things at once. If you look at like old movies, like say, like I said, my personal favorite, Starship Troopers, that CGI looks fucking awesome.
It's weird because it's from the 90s and it still holds up.
They actually won an award for like one of the best CGIs like in a movie.
Granted, the story, the writing is fucking acting is terrible.
It's one big
100% a B movie with fucking it's a B movie with fucking AAA graphics.
Yeah,
essentially. Did you watch Andor?
Yeah, Andor was really good.
Yeah, I was very happy about that. I was like, wow, this is good.
I liked Andor a lot.
I appreciated that it was a long series. Each episode was an hour long, and there was 12 episodes. And
nice.
Unlike Kenobi, where you had 8 episodes and they were like 25 fucking minutes long,
and everything's jam packed.
It's like, why can't you guys just flesh out a series?
They got the fucking money for it. I know the problem is the stars are probably like, well, need more money. But it's like with Kenobi, they could have spanned that out to 12 episodes too. And now the Bad Batch is like 22-minute episodes. And I'm like, you guys have the money. You have the capabilities to kick out good long episodes, but you don't do it. It makes no sense.
It's like, I'm tired of waiting a week for a 20-minute episode.
Mm-hmm.
Or less.
Literally.
Or less if you include the fucking recap and credits.
Yeah, no shit. It doesn't make sense to me because it's like you got the funds, you've got the manpower.
Can you close that fucking door? If I have to hear that dog, I'm going to kill him.
Bark. Shit.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. We gotta get to these topics because we have a lot to cover.
Side
So first off, we're gonna start off with fucking Microsoft and their mass layoff. So Microsoft is cutting more jobs this week, with CEO Satya Nadella confirming 10,000 layoffs during what the executive described as times of significant change. The job losses reportedly affect people at Xbox and Bethesda, in addition to Microsoft's wider teams at large. In a memo to staff, Nadella said that 10,000 layoffs, which amount to less than 5% of the company's total workforce of more than 220,000, will take place beginning today, January 18th, through the end of the third quarter of fiscal year 2023. And this is when the fucking price increases are coming.
Great.
According to the New York Times, Microsoft hired more than 75,000 people since 2019 to help meet the demand for the growing interest in online services and cloud computing due to the onset of the pandemic. This is just the latest round of layoffs at Microsoft, as Nadella estimated around 25,000 jobs between 2014 and 2015 as a result of abandoning the company's Nokia business. It's important to note that while we are eliminating roles in some areas, we will continue to hire in key strategic areas. We know this is a challenging time for each person impacted. The senior leadership team and I are committed that as we go through this process, we will do so in the most thoughtful and transparent way possible, which is not ever going to be true.
No.
The CEO did not say which departments within Microsoft are affected, but Bloomberg reported that Microsoft's Xbox and Bethesda divisions are affected in some capacity. A spokesperson for Microsoft declined to comment about the layoffs affect the Xbox when approached by GameSpot. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier noted that several employees indicated Halo Infinite developer 343 Industries was hit hard. I am not surprised that 343 was probably the hardest hit.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Explaining the job cuts, Nadella said that stemmed from Microsoft's making adjustments to its business in response to the pandemic, looming recession fears, and advancements of AI technology. I hate that the fucking reason for all this shit is always due to pandemic and recession. The two fucking buzzwords that you will always see when a company scales back for some reason, despite a very profitable year. and all the money that they fucking spent, it has nothing to do with the pandemic and the fucking recession. It has everything to do with the fact that Microsoft has been haphazardly spending on everything.
Yep.
They've been acquiring all these companies and spending all this fucking money, and now they're laying off a bunch of people. Now, I get it, layoffs happen. I'm not saying that, it's like, outside of the realm of possibility that a layoff would happen. But I am going to say that to blame this on other things besides the fact you literally spent near $7 billion, which hasn't officially gone through, but you have the budget to do that, but you can't pay your fucking employees.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's completely counterproductive, too. Let's get rid of our employees, but buy all these assets we can't really afford.
Right. First, as we saw customers accelerate their digital spend through the pandemic, we're now seeing them optimize their digital spend to do more with less. We're also seeing organizations in every industry and geographically exercise caution at some parts as the world are in a recession and other parts are anticipating one. At the same time, the next major wave of computing is being born with advances in AI as we're turning the world's most advanced models into a new computing platform. Nadella said that he is confident that Microsoft will emerge from this stronger than more competitive.
Doubt.
Yeah, we'll see. Microsoft will make strategic investments as it looks for future growth, with AI being one of those pillars, while the company will also divest in other areas. These are the kinds of hard choices we have to make throughout our 47-year history and remain consequential company in this industry that is unforgiving to anyone who doesn't adapt to platform shifts. Microsoft will incur a $1.2 billion charge due to severance costs for outgoing employees, as well as changes to our hardware portfolio and the cost of lease consolidation as we create higher density across our workspaces. Nadella described job cuts as difficult but necessary. He said affected employees will receive Microsoft's full support, and this includes above-the-market severance pay, healthcare for 6 months, ongoing vesting of stock awards for 6 months, career transition services, and 60 days notice before termination with those not yet notified. This applies to the Microsoft workers in the U.S. Affected workers outside the U.S. will receive benefits in line with the local employment laws. So for Microsoft's latest quarter, the company earned $50.1 billion in revenue, which is up 11%, and made a profit of $17.6 billion, down 14% from last year, I will add.
Okay.
So they still made a profit, but it wasn't as high as last year. And that's the other thing. I've noticed that a company will, if they don't profit more than they did the year prior, but they still profited, to them that's a huge loss. So they make these decisions to cut people like, well, we didn't do enough. But the problem is this. So Microsoft CEO enjoyed a 10% pay raise just before layoffs. So you can afford to pay yourself, you fucking cuckbag, but you have to get rid of your employees. I have to zoom into this because the picture is 5 miles long, but the fucking text is like the size of my dick. This week, Microsoft, yeah, it was a dick joke. Small dick joke. This week, Microsoft revealed that it would lay off roughly 10K employees, around 4.5% of the workforce. These job losses will be effective as of March, leaving the affected staff a few weeks to find employment elsewhere in an industry that is currently facing a wave of layoffs across the board. In an email to staff, Xbox Phil Spencer said that while it was a painful decision, it was a necessary one for Microsoft's long-term growth. They always say that. It's necessary for long-term.
How do you grow when you're fucking killing 5% of your workforce?
However, it seems that there's another area which Microsoft could save millions while also protecting its lowest earners at the company, the executives' pay packets. Because despite sudden job losses, these executives are still taking home millions for their work in 2022. This includes Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, who made 10% more than the previous year.
What's his net worth?
I don't know yet. We'll look. This information comes from reports published back in October of last year when the 2022 earnings of the Microsoft Executive Board were revealed. Microsoft reported that CEO Satya Nadella stayed on a salary of $2.5 million, but also earned an additional $54.95 million through bonuses. Oh my God.
No wonder they laid off those motherfuckers.
As reported by MarketWatch at the time, this was a 10% increase in his pay from 21. MarketWatch also noted that the difference between Nadella's pay and that of average Microsoft employee, which had already been rising for 5 years in a row. This means Nadella made, on average, 289 times that of his workers, with seemingly no attempt made to close this gap. The same could be said for the rest of Microsoft's higher-ups, with CFO Amy Hood making more than $26 million in 2022, and Vice Chair President Bradford Smith taking home over $23 million. Every executive would get at least $11 million in increased pay.
Honestly, maybe they did them a favor by laying them off, because if they're taking that much money home, that company ain't gonna last long.
Yes. Of course, this is in addition to the fact that Microsoft is paying $68.7 billion to acquire Activision. A gaming giant will grant them access to a huge library of franchises, which we already know. At this point, we hardly expect tech companies, particularly in the U.S., to sacrifice executive pay in order to prevent layoffs. In fact, gaming companies have been known to get rid of staff even when they're performing well, as the industry does little to address the lack of job security. An endless cycle of layoffs and hirings. Time and time again, the industry's biggest players have proven that its workers are the first to feel the pinch during any financial trouble. This differs greatly from famous examples set by the late Nintendo boss, Satoru Iwata, who halved his salary in 2011 and 2014 while the company experienced income losses. The rest of Nintendo's executives took pay cuts as high as 30%. This was largely credited as the reason why Nintendo didn't see mass layoffs during that time, even as the Wii U proved to be a giant misstep for the company. So you mean to tell me that if multi-millionaires that are in the top of the food chain, if they can just say, you know what, this year I'm going to sacrifice my fucking pay because I can afford to do that, so I can keep my staff and keep us going.
Yeah. To grow, and then he wants to say, "Oh, we're going to come out more competitive and even better." No, you're going to come out more fucking wealthy, and everybody else is going to be fucking shit out of luck because you want to make more money. You cockbag, you greedy corporate fuck. I'm sure he's super miserable in his Lamborghini.
On his fucking yacht, sucking like... Bobby Kotick's cock. Fucking just sitting there like, just fucking Bobby, give me the Call of Duty franchise.
Give me all the Blizzard right now. Launch
doing
it in
the
my
fucking
face.
Gluck 5000. Fucking
Jesus Christ, those poor fucking workers, man.
And that's not all. So as I said before, before the layoffs took place, they can afford to have a private concert with their executives because they are dicks. So as layoffs loomed, Microsoft execs took in a private Sting concert in Davos. People still listen to Sting?
You think they're super environment friendly on their private jets they took?
This was only for 50 people. So an intimate gathering of some 50 people were convened for live music the night before Microsoft announced 10,000 job cuts, its biggest layoff in nearly a decade.
That's because they're getting us ready for fucking Agenda 2030 to have nothing.
I know. You will have nothing and be happy.
Eat the bugs, you'll eat the bugs and you'll own nothing, you cocksucker.
So Microsoft executives hanging out in Davos last week enjoyed a private performance from recording artist Sting on Tuesday night, just hours before the company announced it would lay off 10,000 employees, the Wall Street Journal reports.
Out of all the bands, though, why would you pick fucking Sting?
I don't know, man.
That's like sending Bono to fucking Ukraine.
I know.
What the fuck?
The event reportedly did not sit well with Microsoft employees. I wonder why. You know?
It's too much money. That's why it didn't sit well with them. Like, this is too much out of our pay rate. We can't afford this.
So the Microsoft employees who considered it insensitive to pay for a private concert from an artist who commands up to $1 million per show.
What?
While the company was planning to hand out pink slips back home. The performance's glamorous setting, the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland,
cucks,
also didn't help with the optics. This year's forum attracted government leaders from nearly every continent. I think that meant continent. Including 5 U.S. senators and business leaders like Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella.
I bet you he took a real nice trip there too.
Yeah, I bet you he flew economy.
Oh yeah, he totally
100%.
flew. Yeah.
On Tuesday, the night before announcing the layoffs, Nadella spoke on a panel about artificial intelligence. The following day, he took the stage to discuss hard times ahead for the tech industry and how organizations should prepare.
You must prepare because I need more money.
This is why I will never be a game developer. As much as I would love to do this, shit like this is why I would not.
Fuck that. Because then you got dickheads like this who look like a fucking penis at the tip of the helm. At the tip. But like,
it's fucking ridiculous.
Why? Like,
so we're going through a phase today where there's going to be normalization of demand, Nadella said in the journal reports. We in the tech industry will have to get more efficient. It's not about everyone else doing more with less. We will have to do more with less. We will have to do more. What? It's not about everyone else doing more than less. We will have to do more with less.
See what I'm saying? I told you, own nothing.
Yes.
Because they're going to invest that money into that artificial intelligence that's pretty much going to monitor whatever we do.
And this last statement is literally like what we just talked about in the last one.
Yeah. I mean, literally, if anybody who goes to Davos, I automatically do not trust. We all know how they are.
Mm-hmm.
But that money is going to go towards a smart AI that detects what the fuck you're doing at all times. It's going to pay attention to everything.
The freaking water's turning the frogs gay.
They actually did a study. It does.
Listen, man.
They're gay.
We're not talking about that.
Frog.
This isn't fucking.
Goddamn frogs are gay.
Sandy Hook was a hoax. Fucking. We're not. This
Can't
isn't.
say that. We'll get demonetized.
Infowars. Actually, you know what YouTube is doing now with demonetization?
What?
So they changed their policy about profanity.
Twitch is the same way.
Is it?
Yep. If you swear in the first 30 minutes, automatically demonetized.
30 minutes?
Yep.
See, with YouTube, it's 15 seconds.
Yeah, you can't swear, but don't worry. Amarath can have her whole fucking crotch hanging out, and you'd be fine.
You can literally have sex on stream and only get banned for a few days. You can also show your pussy on stream and only get banned for a few days.
You can write your subscribers fucking.
There was
name
even
on
a
your,
chick.
your
There was even
tits.
a chick that was fucking had a butt plug in and dildoing herself on stream, showing all of it, and she still only got banned for a few days.
That's why I stopped streaming.
But if you say fuck within the first 30 minutes,
You get demonetized immediately.
when did that happen?
Just recently, Twitch just dropped a whole. Everyone's been jumping ship from Twitch. They've been going to YouTube, or they've been going back to Mixer. Everyone's jumping
Mixer's
ship.
gone. What are you talking about?
Mixer's done.
Mixer's, dude, that was like a year and a half ago.
Oh,
They shut Mixer down for like forever.
never mind. You can tell how much I pay attention to that shit.
Dude, Mixer has been gone for a while.
That's why I first used to stream on. I had one viewer the whole time. It was me.
I was gonna say, was it you? I know what that feels like.
Yeah, that's why I stopped streaming. People were getting so like, you need to play this. You need to play this. I'm like, I'm going to play fucking Squad because I like to play Squad, or I like to play. Everyone knows how much I love Star Wars.
I'm kind of curious now. I want to look at my fucking Twitch real quick to see if the last stream I had was demonetized.
It could have been because that's what Danko told me. If Danko was here, he'd be talking about it. Danko, you fuck. Get your ass here, boy.
Let's see.
Oh, many.
I'm trying to find where do I go for my? I'm gonna go to my channel, right? It should tell me when there's. It usually would tell me if there was like a demonetization happening, right?
Yeah, it should say.
It doesn't. So that's not fucking true, is it, Danko? Is it? Yeah, I don't have any kind of demonetization on my shit.
That's what he said. He said, like, I forget. I think it was Danko or someone else said, yeah, if you swear on your Twitch stream in the first 30 minutes, you get demonetized.
I'll have.
Well, I'm wrong. Danko, we're wrong.
Well, good thing we have a computer in front of us to look.
Yes, and we have
Twitch
smartphones.
Demonetization for swearing. No, that's YouTube.
Oh, it's YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Twitch is not doing that.
I'm going to say, because it's like softcore porn on Twitch.
Swearing and censorship. This was November 2019 for Twitch. But the new swearing policy is like if you have excess swearing, demonetized. And they're even demonetizing people that aren't swearing.
Did you see that? Now, this is true, though. YouTube, the gun channels, cannot put attachments on any gun anymore.
The ATF thing?
Yep. After the SBR shit, if you are putting attachments on any weapon or have them on in your YouTube videos, bye. The people are going to Twitter or they're going to Tumblr.
So what? Having an optic on my rifle makes it an SBR?
No, they're saying like you're. I forgot. Look it up because I.
What, you're modifying your weapon or some shit?
Yeah.
So they're considering optics a modification?
Yep. Like how a silencer really makes no noise when you shoot the gun, but it's still fucking loud.
Yeah, silencers are called suppressors, not this. Oh, Forspoken. So this game, here. So we're going to the next topic. So Forspoken, this game is actually, everyone is very concerned about this one.
Why?
Because so they have a day one review embargo where people with review codes can't drop a review on the game until the game launches. On top of that, no big creator has gotten a review code. And no PC creator has gotten a review code.
That spells
and
trouble.
the PC specs for this game are insane.
Like, will blow your shit up if you don't have the right stuff.
It's recommended PC specs are like you're looking at a $3,000 PC.
Mine was about 2,500.
Here, before we go into fucking Halo, let's talk about Forspoken. PC requirements. You might need a new PC to play Forspoken properly. So it says the next gen technology. Oh, that's the wrong thing. From the beginning, Forspoken was pitched as a technological showcase for the PS5 and PC, offering the latest in SSD, game load times, and AI upscaling technology. But until today, it hadn't quite sunk in just how much power the magical parkour game will demand. Square Enix, this is a red flag automatically, has now revealed the PC system requirements, and I'm honestly not sure my mid-range gaming rig can handle it. The minimum spec requires 3.7 gigahertz core i7 CPU or better, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 150 gigabytes of hard drive space. And I kid you not, play the game in a measly 720p resolution at 30 FPS. So this right here is the requirements. So if you want your game to run at 1440p, 30 frames per second, you need to have an AMD Ryzen 5 3600, Intel Core i7 8700K, AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT 12 gigabyte.
An RTX 3070 minimum?
Yeah. 37 8 gigabyte VRAM minimum.
You might as well.
No. Oh, you talking about this one?
No, the middle one's.
This is the middle requirements.
That's optimal?
This is to get it running at optimal. So this is the minimum
Jesus
requirements. Christ. This is the standard, the recommended requirements, and this is the fucking high end requirements. So 24 gigabytes of fucking RAM to run it at to run it comfortably. And if this is how you get it at 1440p, 30 frames per second, and 150 gigabytes of, that's across the board.
Holy
So
fuck.
at the least, you need to have an RX 5500 XT or an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060, 16 gigs of RAM, and that gives you 720p. And now at the highest, you need an Intel Core i7 12700, an AMD Radeon or an NVIDIA 4080.
That's a $4,000 PC build.
Yeah, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and that gives you 60 FPS.
It's fucking Square Enix.
So this is a sign that this game will not perform really well. And
Or
here's
no
the
one's
thing:
gonna
people
play it.
people were comparing this to Red Dead, and it looks the same. Here's the game. I mean, it looks cool. It looks good. I mean, I think this was like the reveal trailer, and this is the gameplay trailer.
Pretty similar.
Oh, this was the showcase PlayStation game that everyone was like, what is that?
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. It looks familiar as
And
fuck.
now this is the actual gameplay.
So nothing near it, pretty much. Kind of.
Yeah.
Looks cool, but
But the thing is, this is all huge red flags that this game might not perform well at all. Like on your rig.
good thing I'm not going to play it. I like Hold Fast and Squad. Fucking
Yeah,
crazy. You got to play Hold Fast with me and Danko.
What's Hold Fast?
Hold Fast is the most toxic fucking game you could ever play. It's like,
More than Tarkov?
oh my God, you should hear what people say in that game. Motherfuckers will read like Mein Kampf out loud. And dude, it's so funny. Me and Danko play that game strictly to hear toxicity.
Like, what is it about?
Dude, look it up. Pull it up.
What's it called?
Hold Fast. It's so much fun.
Nations at War.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's third or first player, first and third.
Wait,
or-
this looks a lot like fucking Age of Empires.
It's not though. It's all first person and third person. It's like it's individual people.
Oh, is this like the fucking Civil War type shit?
Yeah, but it's so much fun, dude. Like it's fucking awesome. You gotta play this with us later, or I will show you. It's so much fun. It's fucking hilarious. You should hear the shit people say in that game. I have so many clips of us doing dumb shit. Like you can, like people will follow you if you scream bonsai and shit. I'm not kidding you. The player base is fucking autism. Like where everyone's on the autism spectrum.
Fucking God.
It's so much fun though, dude. Me and Mike have countless hours in that fucking game.
So let's talk about Halo and the demise of it.
The juiciness.
I honestly thought that said Joseph Stalin.
Joseph Stalin.
So Halo Infinite developer Joseph Staten is leaving 343 Industries and returning to Xbox Publishing report. So in a bombshell announcement, Microsoft stated that it will lay off 10,000 people. Halo Infinite's 343 Industries has been impacted according to reports, and veteran developer Joseph Staten is reportedly exiting to rejoin Xbox Publishing. Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier broke the news of Staten leaving and noted that 343 was hit hard by Microsoft's layoffs. Staten has a storied legacy in the Halo franchise. He helped pen the stories for Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, and more. In 2020, 343 Industries announced that Staten was back to help the team get Halo Infinite to the finish line. So he did his work and left. Staten's departure from Halo Infinite isn't entirely unexpected. The original 343 Industries blog post announced Staten's support stated that he will help for a bit, suggesting that Staten's presence in Halo was temporary.
Yeah, I saw that. He said he was there to help it get to reach its deadline so it could go to release. But he was just there to be as a guide to kind of show people like what they should do. And after that, I kind of expected he was going to leave because he did just say he was going to come back temporarily to make sure Halo was released on time and that it was good before they dropped it.
Yeah, still, that's not a good thing.
Well, no, I mean, because he's the OG fucking master of Halo. I mean, that's not someone you want to lose, considering he's had Halo 2, Halo 3, which are all, in my opinion, fucking masterpieces. And I wish he would stay, but this chair is goddamn comfy.
I know.
I almost fucking fell asleep. No. Oh, I got to get one of these motherfuckers.
You should have felt her other one.
Is it good?
No.
Is it terrible?
It was bad.
Dude, mine?
Every time Danko was here, he would be like, this chair is hard as a rock, dude.
Is that the one I sat in for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was really uncomfortable. Dude, mine, I got it's like a racing one, and it was from Amazon, because I was like, I just got my desk and shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, I got a PC set up now. And the seat is like leaning down, and it's fucking awful.
My Respawn chair, like if you look at it, it's leaning to the left.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's leaning to the right, I mean. So it's leaning that way when you look at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, my fucking back hurts. I had to actually get like a softer fucking like seat thing to put onto it.
Yeah.
Like a memory foam one. And even that, it was still rough.
I think I might buy one of these tonight.
I'm still waiting to hear back about this because the fucking cushion is still flat in parts because of the fucking shipping. But we'll see. So back to this. So other 343 industry workers have started taking to Twitter and announced their layoffs. Christopher Boehm, design lead at 343 Industries, announced his departure from the studio after 12 years at 343 and 23 years at Microsoft. According to Bloomberg's report, both Bethesda Game Studios, developer behind Starfield, and 343 Industries were affected by Microsoft's layoffs. Exact reduction numbers aren't known, but 343 Industries studio head Pierre Hintz confirmed in an internal email that Halo Infinite's multiplayer and live service elements would continue to get support. And that's probably as far as it's going to go.
So it means no campaign DLC and everything's going to be locked behind a paywall.
Correct. So with that, 343 Industries will no longer make Halo games, but will oversee outside development.
I wouldn't even bother.
So it's claimed that 343 Industries would be taking a backseat to the development of future Halo games. A new report has claimed that longtime Halo developer 343 Industries is being taken off of active development of the franchise, and that new games in the series will be created by third-party studios. What does that mean?
It means it's done.
You remember when I said before we read this, like this could either be good or worse? And it's looking like it might be worse.
Which means we're going to get like phone games for Halo.
Mobile. Halo and Halo Mobile.
Welcome to Halo Mobile. Join your team.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
According to Halo leaker Bethrobe Spartan,
Bathrobe.
Bathrobe Spartan.
Bathrobe.
I thought that was a person's name, so I said it like that. I didn't realize.
Bathrobe.
Bathrobe Spartan, who has a solid track record leaking Halo inside information, and translated by Metro, Microsoft's mass layoffs have hit 343 Industries hard and will see up to a third of its workforce laid off. That's a lot. Veteran developer Joseph Staten is reported exiting the studio and will rejoin X. We already said that. This is all in French. 343 Industries will take on a parental role of Halo, overseeing new games and content while working on maintaining the game's engine. This isn't entirely new territory for 343, as it has relied on outside help to develop Halo Infinite's multiplayer content. Season 2 is a prime example of this. But Bathrobe Spartan claims that the planned story-based DLC has been scrapped due to it being considered not cost-effective under 343's stewardship.
We're fucked.
A follow-up to Halo Infinite is also expected to enter a pre-production alongside spin-off titles, with these games reportedly being franchised out to other studios being developed on more modest budgets. While Halo Infinite had a strong launch, recent months have seen 343 Industries criticized for delayed content rollouts, tedious multiplayer progression, and numerous bugs.
Yeah. So go back real quick because I want to talk about that real quick. So their content was shit. They had the same events for 4 fucking weeks at a time. The level up progression, it's awful. Awful. The hardest fucking shit to do ever is get through a battle pass in Halo. Because once you complete your daily XP reward,
you can't rank up anymore.
Nope. It's 50 XP per match. Unless you buy and pay for the boosters for XP.
That's what they're banking on.
I know, but it sucks. I grinded the first battle pass like crazy, but then I'm like, fuck, I wanted to get everything unlocked, so like I bought a few battle passes. I'm like, unlocks.
But then the battle pass doesn't even let you complete it, right?
You can actually still go back and complete season 2 battle pass.
Because I remember like it only lets you go so far before it stops you from progressing in battle pass, and then until the next time that part of the pass rolls out.
Well, so with the seasons they launched, so they had like the Samurai Tenru event or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
You can only try to complete it for a limited time, and then it would go away and come back, and then it would go away and come back. It's the same shit, no new content, the same stuff. Literally, that was already there before. It kept your progression, but it still sucked every time because you had to fucking grind it out. I mean, because I was working on season 2 battle pass, and I did the winter contingency one. It took me like 70 games to complete the winter contingency, and that's a lot. That's not even with like the weekly challenges, because once the weekly challenges are done, it's so hard to boost up XP, and it's ridiculous.
You know, it's kind of crazy because remember the season pass ranking for Destiny 2, Bungie got into deep shit with that one because they were caught throttling your XP. So you weren't progressing and you couldn't figure out why. And you're like, well, I only need this much XP. And that's what people were doing. I need this much XP.
And you were buying
and then they were calculating how much XP they were gaining, which matched how much XP that you needed, but they weren't progressing as much as they were supposed to be. So it was active, like Bungie got caught throttling XP.
Yeah.
And now the battle passes, the higher you go on the XP, the more percent of XP boost it'll give you.
Yeah.
So every time you rank up in the XP, it gives you an additional percentage boost to progress faster.
Okay.
So like in the beginning of the battle pass or the season pass, it will progress slower, but the higher you go, the faster it starts progressing.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
That's not bad, but I wish they would
You still have to fucking pay for it. You don't have to pay for it, but most of the better benefits come from
which
paying
sucks
for it.
though, because it's like you shouldn't have to be able to do that. You shouldn't have to pay.
Well, the thing,
for that
the biggest problem with Destiny 2, and it's an issue that I fucking have with it, is that the game says it's free to play, but it's not.
Mm-mm.
So it's free to try. So you can get it free, but you can never leave the Cosmodrome. You can leave the Cosmodrome and go to the tower and shit, but you can't go do the other stuff. You can go to those planets, but you can't do anything on them. You just literally are just riding around fucking shooting shit. So Danko is like, I'll play it with you. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if you want to get into this because you're going to be spending money. And the problem is you need all the expansions. All of them.
How many are there?
You need from Forsaken on.
Yeah, I would count me out.
To give you access to raids, access to dungeons. So you got to pay to get to do the raids. You got to pay for the dungeons. And if you don't get the expansion, you got to pay for the dungeon separately, which is $20. The expansion is still full price. So you have Forsaken and Shadowkeep and Beyond Light, which are all old, and they're still full price. So Shadowkeep is still like damn near $30. And almost all of that content was sunset, meaning that, and same with Forsaken, that content isn't even usable. Like the weapons that you get off of it, you can't use them. You can't bring up their power level. It doesn't give it to you anymore. So you're literally only doing it to get the raid shit because that shit's not sunset.
Yeah.
And also, they paywall fucking everything. Everything. So like
that's how Halo is now.
So I told Danko, I'm like, dude, you're looking at spending about $100-something. If you're trying to get into this and be able to do everything, you're gonna be spending like $100-something. Because you're gonna have to get Forsaken, Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, and the Witch Queen. 4 expansions, all of them. And then the new expansion, Lightfall, comes out in a month.
Yeah.
And that's also $50 by itself, $100 with including the annual pass.
Yeah, I wouldn't even get into that right now.
So it's like, on top of that, you have the Eververse. So like all the fucking cosmetic shit that make your armor look a certain way or to give you like a different ship. You can't earn ships and sparrows and stuff anymore. You have to buy them. And by the way, they are like $10 to $20 each.
That's like EVA Online. You ever play that?
No, but I heard about it.
You know the most expensive ship is like $5,000 that you buy with real money.
You ever heard of Star Citizen?
Yeah, same thing.
It's the same
That's
thing.
Fucking nuts.
You can buy it with in-game currency, but getting that currency is a fucking grind. There are ways to get it faster, but they did something where like you could do bounties, like you grind bounties and go bounty hunting, and earn a lot of money. But they changed the way that you actually can get to the location of the bounty. You can warp your way there based on the engine that your ship has, will get you there faster than another ship. But it's still like, if you want to go from one end of the system to the other, even in warp, you're looking at sitting in your ship in warp for about 15 minutes.
That's fucking stupid.
Sitting there warping. Because it's like it's basically like a simulation game. So it's cool, the immersion part.
Yeah.
And if you have like a big ship, you could just go fuck around inside your ship.
Yeah.
Or you could just sit there in your fucking, your thing. But what they did was with the bounties, like if your bounties on one part of the system, you can get there quick and you can warp to like, you kind of do like a jump to like each little fucking satellite to get there, to get closer faster.
Yeah.
They changed that. So you can get to that area, but you have to fly the rest of the way. And that can take forever too. And you have to watch your fuel, because if you run out of fuel,
you're stuck in space.
You're stuck in space.
Fuck that.
And you have to fly at your normal speed, and it even tells you how long it will take you to get somewhere. And I've seen it like on a normal flight. It could take you 15 hours to get to one fucking planet. It will take you forever.
I get immersion, but what the fuck?
And then the ships real money are hundreds to thousands of dollars. With one of their ship, let me show you this. The most expensive ship in Star Citizen. The 600i Executive Edition is the most expensive ship in Star Citizen. Why is this on W3 Schools? That is fucking... Why is this in W3 Schools? So, May 13, 2022, the most expensive ships in Star Citizen. All right, so you have the Hammerhead. And the Hammerhead is like basically a fucking carrier ship. It's a heavy gun ship. $725. Polaris, $750. The Hull E, which is your mining cargo ship, your freight ship, it's $750. Let's go to so the 890 Jump, which is like the yacht. It's a touring ship, $950. There's a new ship that was coming out. I'm trying to find it. Kraken Privateer, $2,000.
Fuck that.
The Javelin, here it is. The Javelin, $3,000.
Fuck that. Nope.
And the number
$25,000.
Yeah, the 600i Executive Edition, $25,000 ship.
Who the fuck's buying that? The
The
developers?
whales. Now, there was actually a big thing with Star Citizen where like the guy that was spearheading the company, because this is still considered a crowd-funded game, was just pocketing the money.
Shocker.
The game is still playable. It's playable and they're rolling things out. The problem is like it's super buggy. Where the fuck was I on this Halo report?
We were at
Back to fucking Halo. So let's see. A follow-up with numerous bugs. So controversially, 343 canceled couch co-op so it could instead focus on developing Halo Infinite's live service features. Back in November, 343 also remarked that on Halo Infinite's challenging year and promised improvements to its content release cadence starting with the winter update. While reports began to circulate, the multiplayer partner Certain Infinity was working on an ambitious new mode for the game. Season 3 Echoes Within is still scheduled to start on March 7th and will add new multiplayer maps and the Bandit Rifle and 2 new game modes. GameSpot has contacted Microsoft in an attempt to get more details and will update, which means they will not talk to you.
They're too busy taking trips to Davos.
To watch Sting and pay themselves with money to wipe their ass with. Now, this is a fucking other thing, and I've been saying this, and I've had some people actually jump my ass about saying that Skull and Bones is going to be shit and not buy it, and also Ubisoft is in a fucking, like, this game is not in a good place. Same with the company itself.
Yeah.
So, Ubisoft cancels 3 unannounced games and delays Skull and Bones. So, it seems Ubisoft is expecting some difficulties as the French games giant cancels development of 3 unannounced games and delays again an upcoming pirate title, Skull and Bones. First reported by games journalist Steven Totilo of Axios, the Axe projects come amid surprisingly slower sales, according to the game's company. The 3 canceled games, which have not been announced, so we do not know what they are or were, come on top of the 4 canceled in July last year. These are understood to be cost-cutting measures that Ubisoft plans to have a $200 million in spending. So in an emergency call with investors, Ubisoft boss Yves Guillemot said that the company has experienced poor performance as of late and cited that weaker than expected sales of Mario Rabbids, Spark of Hope, and Just Dance 2023.
That's where they fucked up.
That's what they were relying on?
Just Dance?
A Mario game and Just Dance. In a press release, the company summarized that it's facing major challenges and the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and long-lasting titles. So, what happened to the text that I was looking at?
Right there.
Meanwhile, its upcoming pirate-themed title, Skull and Bones, faces yet another delay as Ubisoft mentions an upcoming beta phase and added that it now expects the game to be released early 2023 to 24. So it was supposed to come out in April.
Never going to happen. It's going to be like Cyberpunk.
This is the 6th time the game has been delayed. In what appears to be a strategic shift, it seems Ubisoft wants to prioritize its biggest brands going forward. These include the likes of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and The Division, which the company specifically mentioned thanks to VGC's Andy Robinson. The previous 4 canceled projects, which was announced last summer, include the Battle Royale Ghost Recon Frontline and Splinter Cell VR, while the other 2 were unannounced games. This latest wave of cancellation comes as Ubisoft is facing natural attrition, meaning loss of staff, and divesting in non-core assets, which probably translates to getting rid of projects it deems spare, but could also deem firing people. But such business and euphemisms aren't always clear until we learn exactly what it means further down the line. Whichever the case, it's clear Ubisoft is facing economic challenges. Finally, Ubisoft said it has one more large game yet to announce, but we can expect to be unveiled and window open between April 1st and March 31st. So, Ubisoft has had, like, you remember the Battle Royale Ghost Recon announcement?
Yeah.
And how everyone was like, nobody fucking asked for that.
No.
And then they were like, well, okay. And then they just scrapped the whole thing. And now Splinter Cell is said to be getting a reboot with a different Sam Fisher, and word on the street is it's going to be another open world game. You know, another thing that you can rely on is that Ubisoft is going to create a fucking open world fucking dog shit. Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle.
You know, and with the BRs too, I don't understand. After Fortnite came out, everything.
So the thing,
Royale.
there was actually a study, and Doc even told me about this, of why battle royales are so popular, and that's because every match in a battle royale has some differences than the other.
Yeah.
So each one with a different outcome. So it's the constant try of getting a better outcome than the last one. So you do these battle royales because, you know, everything, the loot drops differently. It's kind of like a roll of the dice of whether or not you're going to, you know, have a good run or not.
Yeah.
So battle royales are like, no two games are exactly the same as the other.
I don't know, because Apex, I've had some pretty similar matches all the time.
I mean, some of them, a lot of it has to do with with the way that they do skill-based matchmaking and other things. But you know, like the one common denominator is that there's hackers. So
yeah. So I don't play fucking Warzone.
I quit. I never played the new one. Actually, I take that back. I did one match of the new one. I said, fuck this. And I never played it again.
I haven't tried the new one, but I used to play the older one all the time.
Because that's all we had.
I know. Well, Jesus Christ. I'm just saying. It was terrible.
It
Warzone fucking sucked.
Now, it was fun in the beginning.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was. I was like, wow, this is actually not bad.
Terrible.
And then it got worse. But
It always does.
always does.
That's because the fucking pro players are the ones who decide how shit happens. They're like, well, this gun needs to be balanced. Bro, you guys are not on the same level as us casual gamers. Stay where you're at and shut the fuck up.
Go away, streamers.
Yeah, literally. Same with Doctor Disrespect and shit. Like, dude, you guys are like top tier gamers. You guys are really good.
He used to be a Call of Duty developer.
I know. That's insane. But it's like, you guys are on a whole nother level than, say, me and you who get home from a long day and we just want to have fun on, you know, some Apex or some shit. And it's like, I don't want it to be competitive. I just want to have fun. Like, but it's not fun anymore. Like, after Fortnite, everything's about Battle Royale. Halo's Battle Royale was dick.
Yeah, I know.
They should have never did it. And then Doc was like, "Oh yeah, this game will, trash, it needs a BR Battle Royale." No, not every game needs a fucking last man standing type shit. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Look at Gears of War. Perfect game. Great game. Didn't need shit besides campaign and multiplayer. Still fucking amazing. I wish they would drop that shit for PC.
They won't. Oh, yeah. Well, what about on the Game Pass?
They actually mentioned that they were going to bring a Gears thing, like the Master Chief Collection, to PC. They mentioned it. It's heavily rumored.
That would be really cool.
I'd be in there like booty hair. I fucking
dude.
I love the first Gears. The first Gears of War was fucking bliss. Awesome game.
And then it got worse. The first few were
the first
good.
three.
First three were good.
First three were good.
Then
After
it was
that,
just like Halo. The first three were great, and then the last two were like, what?
Yeah, me and Dank were talking about Halo 4 and 5 last night, and then
Remember Halo Guardians?
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah,
awful.
Dude, you talk about a bait and switch.
Yeah, same with 4. 4 was all right.
They fucking Halo 5 was like, they made it seem like it was something completely different.
Yeah.
And it almost looked like parallel universe type shit, or alternate universe, where Master Chief was a fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it was just like a misunderstanding between two Spartans that got squashed in 5 minutes.
Yeah. They should have did. You know what they should have did was, like, I like how the one thing I do like about Infinite is the Banished and Atriox, because if you play Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, it all ties together. It makes sense. If Halo 4 and 5 would have connected through Halo Wars, it would have been awesome. But they didn't. And they're not making any more Halo Wars. I don't know why. It's a fucking awesome game. It's a great game.
Well, enough about Halo.
I know. We've been talking about Halo.
So Ubisoft Paris employees are going on strike to protest the CEO's catastrophic comments, which we'll dive into what those comments were. The union representing the studio workers says Yves Gamont is trying to blame employees for his own failures. That doesn't sound like a CEO thing to do at all. Ubisoft announced last week that it is not having a good 2023 so far. Skull and Bones was delayed again, but more seriously, the company's inability to release games that anyone cares about has caused serious financial bleeding. Now Ubisoft is facing even more headaches as the Solidaires Informatique union has called for a strike at Ubisoft Paris on January 27th. A strike might seem like an odd response to being told the game is in trouble, outside of France at least. It arises from statements made by the Ubisoft CEO, Yves Guillemot, who said last week's update that the company was looking to cut €200 million or $250 million in expenses over the next 2 years through targeted restructuring, divesting some non-core assets, and usual natural attrition. In a follow-up email to Ubisoft employees reported by Kotaku, Guillemot told workers that he needs their full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on path to success, adding, I am also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and as lean as possible. These words attracted an ire of Solidaire's Informatique, which called Guillemot's comments catastrophic and accused the CEO of planning staff reductions, discrete studio closures, and salary cuts disguised as layoff. So, on several occasions, Mr. Guillemot is trying to shift the blame once again onto employees. He expects us to be mobilized, to give our all, and as be efficient and as lean as possible. The union wrote in its strike call. These words mean something. Overtime, managerial pressure, burnout, etc. Mr. Guillemot asked a lot from his employees, but without any compensation. The other thing he did say, the ball is in your court. That was another thing he said.
Nice. Good move, guy.
The studio said salaries at Ubisoft have failed to keep up with inflation, that the company has not implemented a 4-day work week. Ubisoft reportedly experimented with a 36-hour work week in 2021, but declined to carry on with it. And there are no protections in place for exhausted dev teams after their projects are completed. The union is thus making 4 demands: an immediate 10% increase for all salaries, regardless of the annual increases, to compensate for inflation. With the hundreds of millions of euros obtained from Tencent, there's money in the coffers for its employees. The improvement of working conditions, in particular, the implementation of a 4-day work week, transparency on the evolution of the workforce, both locally and globally, a strong commitment against disguised dismissals and condemnation of abuse managerial policies, and that push employees to resign, because workplace toxicity has been a massive thing at Ubisoft, and Ubisoft has done absolutely nothing to try to fix it.
Shocker.
And because Mr. Guillemot and his clique only understand the relationship of power, Solidaire's Informatique is calling the employees of Ubisoft Paris to go on strike on Friday, January 27th in the afternoon from 2 to 6 p.m., the union wrote. The call for strike is limited to Ubisoft Paris rather than the company as a whole, because Solidaire Informatique is a French trade union with a chapter at the Paris studio and not others. This isn't the first time it's taken action against Ubisoft. In 2021, the union filed legal action against Ubisoft over allegations of institutional sexual harassment, and later that year criticized Ubisoft's plans to move into NFTs as useless, costly, and ecologically mortifying. The fucking Ubisoft courts thing, when they were pushing that shit so fucking hard and trying to make that like the staple of all games going forward. And even the fucking during like the meeting with the developers were even like, how is this going to make our games better? So you had Ghost Recon Breakpoint, a game that they started doing this. The developers of that game were like, we need to work on making this game better because it was one of our worst received games. How is adding NFTs to the game going to make it better? And then fucking Guillemot was basically saying that like, it'll work, and if the players don't like it, they'll learn to like it.
Jesus Christ.
So it's like they were trying to beat us into submission for accepting it, and it didn't work.
Psych.
So now Ubisoft courts is no longer a thing. And then they tried saying, well, that was just an experiment. Like, bet it was, you fucking moron.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, absolutely.
They ain't stupid. Fuck that. Why are they pushing these NFTs and shit all the time? Like, if you made a bad game, make the fucking fix it. Like, what the fuck? Stupid.
Yeah. So, but on top of that, after this whole thing, Guillemot apparently apologized. So Ubisoft boss Yves Guillemot has apologized after facing a grilling from his employees in response to recent remarks that did not go down at all well with the workers. Ubisoft is facing financial struggles and announced recently as canceling 3 games, which we already fucking said. Ubisoft workers were inflamed as the words seemed to pile on the pressure. One question that was upvoted by fellow employees submitted in advance to the CEO through corporate communication channels, which is seen by Kotaku, directed Guillemot's words back at him. The ball is in our court. For years it has been. Well, this was it. The ball is now in our court. For years, it has been in your court. So why did you mishandle the ball so badly? So we, the workers, have to fix it for you.
Yes, clap back.
Clapbacks, indeed. Gamont began the meeting contrite and said, I heard your feedback and I'm sorry this was perceived that way, according to unnamed sources quoted by Kotaku. Addressing this ball court comment, the CEO said that he wanted to convey that he needed his workers' talent and energy more than ever, but it's started with himself, the leadership, to create conditions for all of us to succeed together. Present at the meeting was also Ubisoft's chief financial officer, Frederick Duguay, who it's not Duggett. I know it's not Duguay, who said costs needed to be reduced, that the productivity needed to increase. So cut costs, but increase production. The company's chief people officer, Anika Grant, addressed the demands that have been brought by workers in which Ubisoft Paris employees are due to strike over. Although none of the executives directly commented on the recent call for strike, Grant rejected staff proposals for a 4-day work week, while calls for raises in line with inflation were also dismissed due to the company's current financial struggles. It should be noted that Gamont has also said that Ubisoft's current balance sheet is strong, as it has around 1.5 billion euro in cash. The French games giant is clearly having some challenges with workers' ongoing dissatisfaction. The issues don't seem to be laid to rest. In other recent Ubisoft news, it's been reported that the company is making too many games that don't play well and that ones in development lack polish. I wonder if one of those were Skull and Bones.
Probably. Would assume.
I would assume.
Yeah, this chair is fucking awesome.
You want to fucking jack off in it?
No,
What's up?
Dude, I want to take a nap in this. This thing is fucking sweet. Oh,
you know what's cool? Like,
so nice.
There's a fucking thing there's a thing underneath it. You loosen it and it lets you lean back more. It's like kind of like a rocking chair.
Bro, I'm buying one tonight. I'm not kidding you. I'm buying one of these.
That
chairs.
one in particular is like $540.
I don't give a fuck. I got disability.
I don't give a fuck on the table. I'm gonna buy it.
I'm
gonna buy this chair.
I buy this gaming chair so I can take nap in it.
I've been trying to get. I'm actually gonna talk to Chris at Regiment about getting Secret Labs to sponsor us.
That'd be sick.
We need a gaming chair sponsor. We don't have one.
You need one.
Regiment does not have a gaming chair sponsor.
Dude, this thing is cozy.
I know.
I would never leave. I would never leave my game. I would never leave my desk. This is nice.
And the cool thing about it is that the armrests are magnetic and you can get memory foam ones.
No shit.
Woo! Mine, unfortunately, are not because I got the older model. And it's still comfortable. It's more comfortable than the chair I've been using.
Man, this thing is cozy, bro.
But I kind of wish I got I should have just spent the $500 and gotten that one.
I'm about to tonight. I'm not kidding you. This is awesome. I'm so cozy.
You like that chair?
It's so nice, man.
You even got the fucking memory foam pillow.
Dude, it's hitting the back of my neck because I was up for 3 hours. I was up till 3 a.m. last night. I'm just like,
You mean you slept for 3 hours?
no.
And what do you mean you were up for 3 hours then?
I was doing extracurricular activity.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
This thing is awesome. I want one so fucking bad now. I'm sold. I mean, it's not that big, but I'll get a bigger one. But
Danko's going to be very happy about that.
I'm done. Mike, it's cozy.
It's a nice chair, bro.
Dude, I'm going to go back home and get in my chair and be like, fuck this.
Yeah, man, fuck this piece of shit chair, this Amazon bullshit. Shit from Amazon is just not good.
It was $170. It was cheap at the time.
Yeah, I mean, cheaper isn't fucking better.
I know, but it makes do.
Yeah, I guess.
For now.
I mean, dude, my chair, even though my chair is like probably not as cool as that one, but this is still a pretty nice chair.
It's nice.
And it's got that little bit of lean on it, so I can fucking kind of chill back and just
let your gut hang and
fucking sit here and be like, I'll butter my bread with butter.
I'm gonna brush these chip crumbs off and get cozier.
Before we go to the next topic, I have to take a piss.
Take a piss.
I'll be right back.
Let her rip, potato
All right,
chip.
we're done. We're done peeing. So,
Yes.
so let's talk about a game that's been in development for a long fucking time. Well, so yeah, let's talk about Skull and Bones real quick. So yeah, Skull and Bones. It's the Singapore deal. Let me look at this. Ubisoft
Is it good?
legally has to finish Skull and Bones.
What are you doing? rip to that game.
Yeah.
That shit ain't ever gonna release. We already know it.
Sing a, let me do it for you.
New Year's deal up to 250 off. Stormtrooper one. That's cool. Secret Lab memory phone.
Well, I mean, okay. So, like, aside from the news for the delay, but yes, Singapore government is why Skull and Bones has to keep going.
You must make game now. You must produce game now.
Stop being racist.
I'm not. It's stereotyping.
Stop being stereotypical.
No. Look at her tits. She's got a nice rack.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that this is like the fucking photo right here. It's like this weird looking pig guy and a fucking chick with massive knockers.
Love Asian women.
So yes, Ubisoft is still making Beyond Good and Evil 2 despite recent cancellations. The sequel to the cult classic is not among the recent cancellations, Ubisoft has confirmed, which is very weird because if anything, they were like, we need to cut costs. Meanwhile, we're developing this game for a decade and some change. So the sequel to Beyond Good and Evil, the two on that did not tell me that this was a sequel.
Who would have guessed?
May hold the dubious distinction of being the longest game in development since it was first announced. But Ubisoft was allayed all those Beyond Good and Evil fans that the sequel is still coming. Ubisoft has not had the best of times as of late. This week it announced it was canceling games, which we're not going to keep fucking saying. The game's development remains unaffected, oddly enough. Beyond Good and Evil 2's development is underway, and the team is hard at work to deliver its ambitious promise, Ubisoft spokesperson told the site.
Doubt.
So back in November 2022, it was reported that Beyond Good and Evil 2 was being play tested, which would be an update on what would have previously heard about in the game, which wasn't great. Although apparently it's still in early development, according to sources cited by Insider Gaming, it was some news to hear that the title was being externally and internally playtested over the last summer. Insider Gaming saw images and videos suggested that the game had been rebooted since its pre-alpha demo walkthrough that was shown in 2018. The publication estimated that it was still around 2 years away from release, at least, going off of the quality they saw. The rebooting comment lines up earlier reports that indicated Ubisoft were taking a different approach for the game since it was shown in E3 2018. While Ubisoft canceled 3 games, which were never announced, the French games company still has various titles in development. These include the upcoming Assassin's Creed Mirage, a remake of the original Splinter Cell, the ambitious Assassin's Creed Infinity, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, which is based on the world of James Cameron, which we fucking know.
No, dude, that's Aang and Appa in the gang.
I never watched that show.
Brock,
anymore.
I'm about to fall asleep. I'm so sorry.
Wake up! All right, so we're going to talk about Marvel's Avengers. Avengers, disassemble. So Marvel's Avengers is reportedly ceasing development soon. Crystal Dynamics is reportedly set to make an announcement as early as next week. A new report has suggested that Crystal Dynamics is ready to cease development on Marvel's Avengers, a game that has struggled to remain relevant ever since its launch back in 2020. Earlier reports suggested that the game was going to be sunset at some point in 23. Although it's now being suggested that those plans have been accelerated, with Crystal Dynamics reportedly set to make an official announcement as early as next week. Get off your phone.
I'm gonna. Okay, dang.
According to the report for Xputer from reputable. Get off your goddamn phone!
Dad, no, please.
From reputable Marvel's Avengers insider Miller Ross, plans to end development on the title were originally set for the back end of 2023, but have been moved forward due to the departure of lead developer Brian Wagner. If that name sounds familiar, Wagner was recently removed as a spokesperson for the title due to racist and ableist tweets that were posted between 2010 and 2016. Yeah, of course, it was something that he said years ago. It now seems like Wagner has been removed from Crystal Dynamics' team due to his comments that hasn't been replaced, which isn't too surprising considering plans to cease development were already underway. It's worth noting that this doesn't mean Marvel's Avengers will be disappearing from your console anytime soon, but a number of changes reportedly going to be made before Crystal Dynamics jumps ship. Now, I will say, it was said that this game is being delisted from stores.
Nice. Fuck that game.
According to Ross, the developers are set to remove the time gating from the game and are currently working on changing the availability of cosmetic microtransactions. Ross also claims that the game will remain on sale digitally until last September, and that Crystal Dynamics will work to keep the game in a playable state for as long as there are people out there still playing it. All 15 of them. This news also means that several new characters that were originally planned to release over the next year will be scrapped. Long-awaited characters like She-Hulk and Captain Marvel will unfortunately never see the light of day, while rumored characters such as Shuri and Ironheart will also remain unreleased. For a lot of people, this has been a long time coming, but it's still pretty sad to see it go. And it's not. It's really not.
Darn.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Avengers not be good. Avengers is going away.
Thank God. Hey, can I use my phone to warm up my truck, or am I going to get yelled at?
Warm up your truck from your phone.
I got a new truck.
I saw that.
You like it?
You can warm it up. You can remote start it from your phone.
With the Toyota app. I could start this bitch in Tejas.
Is it like BMWs where you have to fucking pay for a subscription to like access its heated seats and shit?
Perhaps.
Did you know about that?
Well, I didn't know about the heated seats. But
Imagine spending like 50 grand on a car that has heated seats, only to be said you need to pay for a subscription to use them.
Well, yeah, this is a subscription too, which is stupid. But I go to the gym.
Is there a remote start option on your key fob?
I named my truck the Suz.
The Suz?
The Suz. I don't know why.
But is there an option for on your key fob?
It's on my key fob, but it wasn't working because I accidentally canceled my subscription.
You need a subscription for your fob to work?
Yes, yeah, it wasn't working until I got the fucking shit for this.
So you need to subscribe to the Toyota app in order to get your key fob to do things?
I guess so. It's a hell of a way to control everything.
Why are cars being turned into fucking microtransactions too?
Because everything's about money now. But it's dope though. So I hold the start and
it all needs to die.
It shows the distance to empty, my odometer, the name, vehicle status, closed and locked, health alerts, no safety recalls, engine good.
You know, for a guy that doesn't trust technology, you sure as fuck are all in it right now.
Yeah, because I don't like being cold.
I like the convenience of it.
I don't like being cold, Brock. And I wake up in the fucking middle of the night to go to the gym.
What's your rating right now?
What rating?
Your fucking disability.
You really want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
90%.
Fuck yeah.
And with my heart, I have a heart condition. That heart condition I was telling you about. Mike was like, you know, with your heart condition now, you could probably see like 100.
That would be good.
I would fucking cream.
I wonder who's gonna be my new VSO now that he's gone.
Well, my therapist, when I was talking to my therapy guy in our last meeting, he was sitting on his phone the whole time. He's like, oh, yeah, you know, and I'm like telling him about like my suicide and shit.
Was your therapist at the VA?
Altman.
At the VA? I don't go to the VA. I have community care. Request community care.
Community care?
I asked for community care. Actually, my the social worker put me in for community care. And I got approved for it. And that was because the VA is just so backed up.
Yeah, my next appointment's February 15th.
My next appointment for my therapy is Monday. You know when my last appointment was? Last Monday. This past Monday. Yeah, so I can have as many appointments as I fucking want. Unlimited, covered by the VA.
I know.
And even better is that all my therapists and psychiatrists are vets.
See, mine is like...
It's through Aurora, but...
That's not bad, though. At least yours actually doesn't text and talk on his phone while he's trying to listen to talk.
My therapist is fucking awesome. Like,
mine isn't.
And like because like all the community care therapists, like for mental health through Aurora, are all vets.
That's cool.
Every single one of them are vets. There's probably 2 that are not.
Yeah.
But they specialize specifically for vets. So like the people that run the whole thing are all vets. So like the my psychiatrist, he was, I don't know exactly what he did. He wouldn't tell me, but I'm pretty sure the guy was with group.
Really?
Because he kept talking about pipeline, and I'm like, I know what you were. Because I asked him, I'm like, what'd you do? He's like, it's not important. I'm like, okay. And then he was talking about pipeline, and I'm like, yeah, my buddy went through the pipeline, and he was talking about like, you know, physical issues and mental health issues that, you know, he was, because his buddy was asking him about the pipeline as if he knew about the pipeline. And I'm like, pipeline is selection and Q course. So you were with group. Because he said like his knees and his hips were all fucked up. He had a hip replacement because of jumping. So he was at minimum airborne, but he was talking about pipeline shit. So it tells me like he has a lot. He's like, I got like 1,000 jumps, and I'm like, you were fucking group, dude.
Yep. Yeah, it was funny because the last appointment I had with my therapist. So he's like, yeah, tell me more about why you wanted to kill yourself. And I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's sitting there texting. And I'm like, I said, you got some? I said to him, I was like, you busy? And he's like, oh, go ahead, Mike. I'm like, you motherfucker. I was
It
like,
sounds like the same guy that called me a month after the fucking consultation was supposed to be. And he's like, oh, I was calling because I saw that you had a consultation for therapy for mental health. And I was like, yeah, I already have somebody. And he's like, oh, okay. You went through, so you're going through community care? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, sorry I didn't get back to you sooner. And I'm like, it's fine. I don't need you.
They keep trying to offer me meds. The Ukrainian chick, she's like, hey, Michael, you sure you don't want any medication? I've been giving meds for 20 years. And I'm like, no.
I told her, I said, I would like to see a therapist that doesn't recommend medication.
Yeah. And Altman fucking recommended meds for me too for my
You know what's
anxiety.
funny? She treats me differently now than she does you. And that's because I've been to Ukraine. When I was in Ukraine before, like for the whole Russian shit.
The Crimea?
And like when Crimea happened, I told her, I was like, yeah, I was in Ukraine for that. And she was like, you were in Ukraine during the Crimea thing? I was like, yeah. I'm like, that's why we went there.
Mm-hmm.
We kept Russia at bay for years. So her attitude completely changed because guess what? I was involved with something that hits home for her.
Mm-hmm.
So now she treated me different because
better or worse?
Better.
Oh, fuck.
Because then she looked at me like, you were there to help my family.
You're there
like
to help my people.
you were the reason. Like you were part of the group of people. I didn't do fucking shit when I was there, but like in her eyes, the U.S. I was part of the U.S. troops that were in Ukraine to keep Russia from invading her country.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told her how because obviously with the whole thing going on in Russia and in Ukraine right now, that affects her.
Yeah.
And I told her it affects me. And she was just like, it's like, guess what? We have common ground, bitch. Like the thing that affects you affects me too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
were there.
I was there. And then and even still, it was just like one of those things where it's like, I have connection with people, with like the guys that I train in Ukraine. And she has a connection with Ukraine because she's Ukrainian.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we have a common connection over the same issue, and whatever is affecting you is clearly affecting me.
Mm-hmm.
So in her eyes, it's like, I know what he's going through.
She's like, I know this. This is familiar.
And she was so sad. Like, she was like, it's so terrible. And then she really pushed to get me into community care.
Yeah, that's good. She hates me. Take these meds, bitch.
No, I told her, I'm like, I don't want to have to take medication.
I told her that too, man, because if people go on that shit and they get off it and they're worse.
I know.
I don't want to be like that. I'm already fucked up as it is.
I just want to be able to come. I don't want to be on antidepressants and not be able to come.
My loads are back. I'm off antidepressants.
It's like I want to blow my load, but I can't.
Honey, I'm off the antidepressants. Guess what that means? It's going to be an avalanche of cum.
I'm going to be fucking throwing ropes like crazy, bro. Fucking, why is your cum all stringy? It's like, it's been sitting in my balls for fucking weeks.
Like a fucking tapeworm, just...
God.
Who whipping that shit around?
Yeah, apparently broccoli helps you fucking throw ropes.
Yeah, broccoli makes me shit my pants.
What, are you allergic to it?
No, it just upset my tummy. This fucking guy.
So we're going to talk about Logan Paul. I got to find an actual fucking... Hey, so CoffeeZilla did a report on the whole fucking crypto thing. So...
I fucking hate him. I want to punch him in the fucking head so bad.
He has a fucking hittable face, I will say.
Just want to... Who was that from, Step Brothers? Just gotta really want to punch you in the fucking face.
So,
right now.
YouTuber CoffeeZilla has been investigating Logan Paul following the controversial streamer's NFT game Cryptozoo supposedly scamming people out of millions of dollars. Paul has offered to refund people $1.3 million, but that only helps the egg holders, not everyone else who bought in-game currency. CoffeeZilla said in a recent video, unfortunately, the scam was much bigger than $1.3 million. So the fact is, most victims, I should probably make that a little bit bigger.
Yes.
Most victims are not going to be made whole by this plan. As reported by Dexerto, CoffeeZilla released a new video in response to Paul's refund plan. Paul hasn't even called this a refund, instead referring to it as a rewards program for disappointed players. Likely trying to save face and avoid a lawsuit by avoiding admitting any wrongdoing. Post states in a video posted on Twitter and his secondary YouTube channel that players can burn their eggs and creatures for original minute price in Ethereum. But due to recent crypto cash, there's a much lower dollar value than when players bought in, meaning they're still losing money. CoffeeZilla explains crypto has crashed a lot, even though people have spent $2.5 million on these eggs. In order to refund all these holders at the mint price, it only cost $1.3 million of today's money. Paul also states that there will be a full internal investigation, and audit and legal action will be taken against whoever needs to be held accountable.
Logan?
CoffeeZilla notes that the response is far better than previous ones from Paul, but that still isn't perfect. So he did do a follow-up on this, and he blamed CoffeeZilla for getting his facts wrong, while also admitting that he fucking fucked up, but didn't actually straight up admit. So like in his whole thing, when he was trying to blame other people, all he was doing is highlighting that this is his fault. And instead of just saying like, how hard is it to say, I misjudged the guy, and like other multi-million-dollar companies, I fell for his bullshit, and now it's cost me, and I apologize for not doing better.
It's just that simple.
Instead, he said my team didn't, and like I went off what my team said. My team says that he was good to go, and I trusted them, and they were wrong. So it's like, you're blaming your fucking staff for fucking up, and not yourself. You think your staff says yes? And I get it. You can, like, if you can't be fucking bothered, but at the same time, it's like, don't tell people that your staff fucked up. Admit to it. Like, I probably should have looked more into this guy.
We took a risk. I'm sorry.
I took a risk, and I took a risk, not realizing I was taking a risk, and then now it's costing me.
Yep. It's that simple. Just be like, hey, I fucked up, and we'll refund you and get your money back and try to work this whole deal out.
It's so fucking stupid.
But trusting Logan Paul in the first place, sorry, it just doesn't sit right with me.
What is this? This says, so Logan Paul has actually threatened to sue CoffeeZilla.
Why? Because he
was trying to say it was defamation.
That's not defamation. That's fact. The
Correct.
words he said.
So, see you in court. Logan threatens to sue YouTuber CoffeeZilla over Cryptozoo scam claims. So, YouTuber Logan Paul is no stranger to crypto. And same with all fucking influencers. What is this?
I don't know. Another pop-up?
Or controversy. In a video published Tuesday, he vehemently denied most of the claims YouTuber CoffeeZilla had made against his crypto game project, Cryptozoo, and said he intends to sue CoffeeZilla, whose real name is Stephen Findison for defamation. Cryptozoo is an online game on the Binance Smart Chain launched in 2021, where users buy eggs that hatch into hybrid animals. According to the company's blog post, the animals could yield holders passive income in the form of Zoo token. Paul previously said in August 21 episode of his podcast that Cryptozoo is a really fun game that makes you money, but that vision hasn't exactly been realized. The Zoo token has plummeted roughly 89% in the past year.
Jesus Christ.
According to PancakeSwap data. And Finison spoke with over 6 different people who claim that they have lost thousands each from their Cryptozoo purchases. In total, just 6 of the individuals claim they have collectively lost nearly $600,000. Stop buying crypto.
Why would you buy, especially with Logan Paul? Like I said, why would you trust this fucking guy?
I don't know. So the Cryptozoo blog has not published a new post since April 2022, and neither its Instagram nor Twitter page have posted any new content since May of 2022. Such a lack of activity could be interpreted as abandonment, which usually, if everyone's ghost mode, that's signs that things aren't good.
Mm-hmm.
Hover. I'm looking at you. You don't know about Hover, do you?
Hover.
So it was like, Hover was like this fucking, well, I'll tell you in a second. So Cryptozoo Twitter account did, however, suddenly retweet Paul's CoffeeZilla response. video Tuesday, and Paul insists that Cryptozoo is not dead yet. Oh, okay.
It's dead.
Cryptozoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it.
Oh, it's coming.
Paul said in his video. Paul denied that he ever scammed his fan base through Cryptozoo and called Fineson's 3-part series about the project deeply unethical and dangerously misleading and illegal. You led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm fraud or I tried to scam my audience. That is patently false. Paul claimed that Fineson actually knows Paul is innocent, but is twisting of facts and published the videos anyway. Paul argued Fineson published a defamatory hit piece fully knowing I was innocent. Attorney and adjacent professor of law Andrew Rosso told Decrypt that because Paul is a public figure, he would need to prove actual malice or that Fineson published the videos with a reckless disregard of the truth in order for a court to take Paul's case seriously. And I guarantee you, before I read on, it's going to show none of what he said was wrong.
Yep.
I think the biggest question that remains unanswered is at the press time, which is the heart of the potential defamation claim, is whether or not Paul's Cryptozoo was actually a scam, one that Paul intentionally created for purposes of intentionally misleading and defrauding investors. When it comes to whether Fineson can be held liable in court, Rosso said the more information is needed on all of the steps Fineson took toward obtaining the truth. So while Paul might have plans to take legal action, he doesn't disagree with everything in CoffeeZilla's series. Paul did agree that Fineson's assessment of former Cryptozoo employee Eddie Ibanez, alleging that Ibanez is a professional con man. Paul said Ibanez was previously listed in Cryptozoo's website as their scientist and is currently being investigated by a higher authority that I cannot speak on. Totally. So, which means he's looking at it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Paul also took the issue to Fineson's interview with a former Cryptozoo engineer, Zach Kelling, who told Fineson that he and a team of 30 engineers working on the project for $50,000 a week, but were never paid. Paul said Kelling had only 3 engineers. I got everything stolen from me and our community, Paul said of the Cryptozoo fiasco, claiming that he and his manager, Jeffrey Levin, have only lost money on Cryptozoo. Paul also claims that Fineson published phone call interview with Levin was illegal and makes Fineson like an internet criminal because he had not been granted permission to publicize the call. Neither Paul nor Levin responded to Decrypt requests for comment. But Paul did spend some time addressing the controversy on the latest episode of Impulsive Podcast Wednesday. The guy is good, Paul said of the CoffeeZilla Cryptozoo videos. He is a very good storyteller and he's very, very manipulative.
That I believe. Absolutely.
He was talking about CoffeeZilla.
Well, not.
Logan Paul was saying that about CoffeeZilla.
No, Logan Paul is definitely manipulative as fuck.
Yeah, but that was Logan Paul's statement.
Well, he's retarded.
He said the guy he's referring to CoffeeZilla, saying that he is good. He's a very good storyteller and very, very manipulative. Regardless, Paul intends to take legal action against Fineson for the trio CoffeeZilla YouTube videos. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're going to need it. Paul said, I'll see you in court. In a message to Decrypt, Fineson said that he has not yet received any legal action from Paul's team. In fact, Logan is suing me instead of the criminals of the con men he hired, says it all. He took zero accountability, zero apologies, just wants to save his own reputation instead of cleaning up the mess that he and his team created, which is true. So instead of actually fucking dealing with the problem that he has of having a con man fucking do all that shit for him, he's going to sue CoffeeZilla because you defamed me.
Defamation.
No, Logan, you defamed yourself, man.
You're an asshole, Logan. No one likes you.
You can't. There would have been no defamation if it was like. And even CoffeeZilla said that it seems like a scam. This whole thing does seem like a scam.
I mean, Cryptozoo alone sounds like a fucking shady website.
Anything with the word crypto in it is bullshit. All of it's fucking bullshit. Stop buying fucking crypto, anything.
Yeah, you fucking idiots.
NFTs. The blockchain NFTs are the future, bro.
Yeah, it's coming from Logan Paul, who bought literally $1 million worth of fake Pokemon cards.
4 million.
4 million. I stand corrected.
I watched that video today. That's how I know that.
He's a fucking idiot.
And it's funny because the authenticator was like, this packaging looks real. And then when they open it, they're like, oh, no, it's not.
These are all fake.
They said, because the box with the label and the tape, they said it all matches. And as soon as they opened it and saw the card boxes, they realized they were fake. They all looked wrong.
They all looked wrong.
They all looked wrong.
Fucking dumb.
And it's funny because he was like, I'm like, why would you buy 4 million in Pokemon cards?
Because he has the money to do it.
Did you see the thing about U.S. Customs destroyed a fucking sealed copy of Pokemon Yellow?
Really?
So a person had, they were bringing in a collector's fucking Pokemon Yellow original in its sealed package and like in a hard case and shit, worth tens of thousands of dollars, and U.S. Customs busted it to pieces looking inside of it.
Good job, U.S. Customs.
Because they were like this could be smuggling, so they opened it and like shredded it. Yeah,
Good
like,
job.
They broke the fucking hard packaging apart. They opened the box and everything, so it was like now it's worthless.
And all that value is gone.
I know.
Everything done.
Fucking U.S. Customs, America.
Good job.
I love this country, but fuck, I hate some of it. Some of the shit that it does.
I would have to agree on that.
I love this country, but I don't love the people that, at the top.
Nope. They're all retarded.
Fucking retards.
Yeah, fucking jackasses.
Well, Mike, it was good having you here. Hopefully next time I can get Danko with you, too.
I know. Fucker. I'll talk to him. I'll be like, listen, man, you need to get your ass in here right now.
Listen, you wanted to be a regular.
I do.
I'm not.
I do.
I'm saying this in reference to Danko.
Oh.
You wanted to be a regular, and now what? It's just fuck me, huh? All right, I'll see you.
For a birthday party.
Meet me out at the fucking at the quad. Two water sources.
Hey, Gilmore.
And your PTs.
Oh, fuck.
All right, well, this was a good episode. Lots of information, and we got done in a decent amount of time. So
Yeah. That was a lot.
it was a lot. We
That was a
covered
lot.
it in 2 hours, even almost.
Yeah. Right at 5:30, actually, we got done. The rest of the
Is it 5:30?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wanted to get that done way earlier.
I got some leftover Thai food at home I'm going to go fucking eat.
Oh,
Ooh.
Alicia loves Thai food.
Dude, Pimmy's. Go to Pimmy's.
Where do you think we get it?
Oh, you get it from Pimmy's too?
Yeah,
Ah. I got pad see ew today with crab rangoon.
Pad See Ew is really good
I fucking love it.
with the crab rangoons. I don't know what it is. That shit tastes. I always ask them to put the extra sauce in it.
I have them do extra noodles.
I say extra sauce. I keep forgetting to tell them no broccoli.
Yeah, the broccoli I didn't eat today because it gives me the shits.
I just don't like the broccoli. It's just it always tastes cold.
I don't like broccoli. I don't know. The broccoli in there does not complement the rest of it very well.
No, it doesn't. But the chicken and the noodles and that sauce.
I do with beef.
You do it with beef? I'm gonna have to try that.
Beef, it's juicy.
Alicia she likes the extra hot shit.
I like that chili sauce.
She says Pimmy's isn't hot enough.
No, they could do hotter. They could, but
no,
sometimes
she's gotten the hottest that they can give, and she says it's still
Just
not
not
hot
enough. I like to enjoy my meal sometimes. Like with the chili they give me, like the chili sauce they give me, like I put it in there. But like I said, I like to enjoy my meals.
She loves the absolute spiciest Thai food that you could ever imagine.
There's a place in Racine. I forgot the name of it. I'll ask my mom tonight because I'll send it to you. It's a really good spot. She said it's a Thai and curry place. It's in Racine. I forgot the name of it.
I'll have to tell her about it.
I'll have to get the name for you.
There's this Thai place she goes to in up in Oak Creek. She says that it's really good. It's really hot.
The bomb?
I don't know what it is. She likes that fucking hot shit. I can't do it because I'm a bitch. So it's like, I'm a white boy, dude.
We are white.
You think I could fucking handle like super spicy food? No.
No. I kind of can.
I like hot sauce and stuff, but that's as far as it goes.
Is
Like,
she cooking right now?
I think so.
Because it smells fucking amazing.
She might be making something. I have to figure out what it is. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm Brock with Blacklist Game Podcast. Joined with Mike Mo.
Yeah, you just call me
Fucking
Momo. Momo. I'm actually, a lot of people have been calling me that lately.
Momo?
I like it. Goddamn right.
You like being called
I
Momo?
don't mind it.
What up, Momo?
Could you imagine,
Yo,
hey,
fucking Momo.
hey, yeah, our friend Momo's coming by. Oh, is he a cool dude? Yeah, he's fucking giant.
Yeah, he's a fucking Momo.
Momo.
Anyway, we love you guys. Appreciate y'all. We'll catch you next week on the Blacklist Game Podcast.
Yeah. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.